Yes, people. Yes, it's been a while. I've been trying to sort out a lot of things, folks. Just trying to get everything on schedule so I can start having a more consistent show. But bless upon ourselves, see, a lot to talk about in the football world. Lots to talk about in the football world. I know it's transfer season right now. For some reason, it seems like my internet just went down. I know it's transfer season right now, and we're still looking for some players to pop up or some players to make some moves, but it's been a bit, I would say, low key. It's been a bit low key. I know a lot of clubs probably wait till the end of the season. We wait till the end of the window to basically to buy players. A lot of clubs out there, I would say, need to retool. Um, I know the Arsenal fans must be feeling really disappointed right now. I have to say, I know Arsenal fans have to be feeling very disappointed. They seems at time that potentially they seem like they could potentially do something this season. However, it doesn't seem likely anymore. They're dropping points left and right. Still a good team to watch this season. Do I always enjoy watching Arsenal? Yeah, I really need to adjust this thing. I don't know. Yeah, I have this whole new set of people, and I really need to start adjusting these things properly. Yeah, I think that Arsenal. I enjoy the kind of football that they play. They play this beautiful style of football. Hope it doesn't really go out. Hope this style of football doesn't really go out of style because the game has changed throughout the different eras. I remember the time of David Beckham and those guys. It was about stringing the football. David Beckham could pick out a pass from midfield onto an attacker, and it's just beautiful in the air. Not so much anymore in football. And Arsenal is one of those highlight teams that can basically build up play from their goalkeeper all the way into your net. That's how good they are on their day. Um, Aston Villa is surprising a lot of people this season. Aston Villa is. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all, and this is why I'm not surprised about Aston Villa. Still think they need bolstering though. I think that change Leon Bailey and the other kid from Germany, Musa. I think that substitution is becoming very obvious, and I think a lot of teams are gonna just plan for that and realize that all right, these two, this coach, this is his go-to. Leon Bailey, Musa. Either start Bailey, either Musa comes back in. However, I still think they're playing some scrappy football. Who would have thought that Ali Watkins would have a season like the one he's having right now? I don't think anyone could have actually predicted Ali Watkins having this kind of season. He's playing lights out. He seems to always end up on where the ball is for some reason. He always ends up where the ball is. And yeah, people, I haven't been doing shows lately. Haven't been doing a lot of shows lately. Um, was sick over the Christmas break as well, and just a lot of work, and wanted to upgrade some things on the channel. So I did upgrade some things on the channel by camera gear and all these other gears. So we're back up and running. You will be seeing more of JT now in the space. Because for me, I want to be motivated whenever I'm doing something. I don't just like run and do things and not being motivated. So I wanted to get that fire back when I was coming back to YouTube and be able to talk football. I'm just sending out my notification because a lot of my stuff didn't go out to a lot of people them who know. So big up everybody who has been taking in the whole Mason Greenwood, his green card. What is it? He got a red card? Remember green card? He got a red card and it's rescinded. So I guess the referee said that Mason Greenwood said to F off, but after proper analysis, they rescinded the red card. So good for him because he's playing well. Um, they're still keeping it very quiet at Manchester United when it comes on to Mason Greenwood. I don't think they want to make um, that move yet on the player because I think Mason Greenwood has a lot of value. The Premier League, and I think with all these transfer restrictions coming into the Prem, I think you're going to see teams hold on more to their homegrown talent because their homegrown, if you could get them up to a level, your homegrown talent in this Premier League is going to give you it's going to give you flexibility because when you sell a homegrown player, you get everything. It's 100%. Like if Chelsea lets go of Gallagher right now, all of that goes to Chelsea breadbasket because they develop the player. They develop the player from scratch. Other than when you have a player come in and then you try to, like a Jadon Sancho came in, I think at around 70 something million to Manchester United, was playing very well at Dortmund and came in and he was a flop. I don't know if he was a flop. Being a fan of Jamaican football, I'm not gonna say Jadon Sancho is a flop, and this is why I wouldn't say he's a flop because um the reason why I wouldn't say he's a flop is because we see even in our national teams when if a coach misuses a player, that can affect the player's confidence tremendously. That can really affect the player confidence. And I think that's what happened to Jadon Sancho at Manchester United. I think he came in feeling himself maybe because the German league, people need to remember, I haven't I'm trying to today I was thinking which footballer that I know that came out of the Bundesliga that just went straight into EPL and started firing. I don't know a lot of footballers who just run out of the German league and enter the Prem and just start firing up. It's not a everyday thing. So, and yet Jadon Sancho end up at one of the biggest clubs in the world, at a Manchester United. So at Manchester United, he needs to get playing time. Mason Greenwood was there when he was there. Rashford need his playing time. All those guys, they brought in Anthony. Oh, and the Argentine, he's playing very well. So Jadon Sancho was gonna have a really tough time at Manchester United, and he goes to sleep in games at times. Sometimes he looks uninterested. He's just out there just playing. A lot of people will say, yeah, but the kid is talented. Yeah, he is talented, but he tends to fall asleep on the job. And Ten Hag is saying basically he's not training well. And let me let you know this training is very important for everybody who's played sport at any high level. You know how important it is to train well. When your coach see you making that effort in training, pushing other players, pushing for that starting job, the coach can then trust you on game day to say, this player is going to go out there and implement what I need to be implemented. So Jadon Sancho, Ten Hag hasn't seemed to be getting that from him, and hence he's just floating. He's going to end up back in Germany by the look of things. Let's head over to Arsenal right now. They're the big talk. Everybody knows that Arsenal probably needs a striker. That's singing to the choir. Everybody know this Arsenal team needs a striker. Ivan Toney is back January 17th. He's back off suspension. He's the man touted to end up at playing with the Gunners, but it's a wait and see. It's a wait and see thing. Usman, he's basically off the market, and I think that Chelsea would break the bank to get that strike. I don't think they would let Arsenal actually get that player. So it's the league is just filtering things out. You have Chelsea struggling down there in the 12th spot, Manchester United, but and bad news for the rest of the Prem. De Bruyne is back now, had an assist in the FA Cup. So that's Bless up yourself, Siobhan. So Man City is shaping up to make a last final push, and I think this is when Man City gets really really dangerous, when he starts to really when the season is ending and they have something to fight for. Liverpool, on the other hand, I think they will be losing Mo Salah in the break as well. Still think that this Liverpool team, they're playing well, but I still don't think they are what they were with Sané Mane and Mo Salah. I think those two players were just so dynamic and problematic that they were just a beast together. So I think no, Liverpool is in a Liverpool for me is where Arsenal was last year. Last year, a lot of people didn't expect Arsenal to improve that well, that quickly, and to compete for the title. This year, Liverpool was in a rebuilding phase last year, didn't expect Liverpool to play this well this season, and they seem to be playing very well. But we also saw a point where Man City could have ran away with this thing early on, but they ran into some tough games where they had some losses and some draws there, and kind of just open up that top five, to where now you have Tottenham still creeping back in there. Tottenham is playing this reckless style of football. It's a wait and see with Tottenham. A lot of people are wondering, is this is how Tottenham gonna play? It's just gun ho up and down the park. Who is it's fun to watch. I have to say, Tottenham, it is fun to watch, but they're playing very a reckless style of football. Ever since that game against Man City, I thought, whoa, this Tottenham team might be problems deep down in the season. No, today somebody asked me, they said, JT, can Aston Villa win the league? And I started to think back to Leicester, when Leicester won the league. It's a smaller team, but I think that when Leicester won the Prem, there was less quality there. I think. I think when Leicester won, it was less quality. It's hard to say. I want to say because even Sheffield, like, basically stuck. They took 3 points from Aston Villa. Drawing that game against Aston Villa, they just parked the bus, and Aston Villa looked a bit tired. They look a bit, drudgy on the job, and they dropped 2 points there. And then against Burnley, we saw them barely winning that game. So Aston Villa is, you want to say they can win it, but there's still part of me who is wondering, the Premier League has a way of stretching you out, and can they hold out for that long? I think reading the blogs, a lot of Aston Villa fans wasn't expecting this performance from Leon Bailey. This performance from Leon Bailey this season has been exceptional. I know the Reggae Boys fans will be waiting and hoping to just get a performance like that from Leon Bailey, but I think he's finally coming into it. I think the way I see him playing now at his club, I think the way Leon Bailey is playing at his club, it might just be enough to build up his confidence for international football. I think he might just be ready. He might be on the verge. And let's be a bit honest with ourselves here. Maybe including me, our expectations of Leon Bailey to hit the ground running in CONCACAF was maybe a bit too preempt. Maybe we wanted Leon Bailey to fire on all cylinders very quickly. And after I said that, even Mikel Antonio would have to take some time to kind of get CONCACAF football under his belt. So maybe we didn't even give Leon Bailey that leeway. We just wanted Leon Bailey to come in basically and just play like Leon Bailey. So I hopefully though it's time, because I thought Leon Bailey had a moment. We can see it in international football where he wasn't confident. He wasn't confident at all. And sometimes players picking up a lot of niggles and a lot of injuries, that can play in the back of their minds. That can play on players' psyche, on whether they want to go into that tackle. Do I stretch this hamstring? Do I go full 100? Or I just, because especially when you're coming back from a hamstring tear, if anybody here plays football, you know that it's always in your back of your head, your mind. Is this hamstring going to pop again? Because it's a nasty injury. Now, hamstring injuries might not seem dangerous in hindsight, but those injuries can be very tricky getting. So it seems like Leon Bailey finally got over that, and he basically took back that starting job from Musa. Because when Diaby came in, Diaby was just firing on all cylinders. He said, yes, this is what we needed. We needed this from Leon Bailey. But it seems like Leon Bailey has competed in a more subtle way, or he made some slight adjustments or something. He looks more calm when he has the football. He seems more assured of himself, When I see him taking on players, he's looking like, yeah, I'm a part of a good Aston Villa team, and I'm one of the marquee players. They brought him in for 30 mil, and I would say this is his first 30 mil production or productive season. This is the first season you would say he's giving you a bang for your buck, a value for money, by actually getting all these goals and all these assists. Because my thing previously was that his goals were coming in Europa League, or they were coming in some games that were over already. Aston Villa was up 3. Not so much anymore. It seems like he's getting the goals. He sunk Man City. He seems like he's getting the goals against the big clubs. And this is one of the things that I wanted to see from Leon Bailey. This is one of the things I wanted to see from Leon Bailey. Can he score goals against top teams? And he has proven that in this. He has proven that in this EPL season. Now, so if Leon Bailey has proven that in this EPL season, let's say it's fair to say, give him a chance to get to that point in international football. Some people would say, though, he has gotten a lot of years. I still think CONCACAF can be tricky. And the way how Leon Bailey came into the team was very unknown. It was all over the place. Every day was a new starting lineup. It wasn't a lot of certainty as to where we are right now as a team. So can Leon Bailey's performance at Aston Villa translate back into the Jamaican team? No, a few people contacted me as well. There was a lot of things people wanted me to talk about, this quota system. I went through this quota system battle on YouTube a few times. My take on the quota system is this. I believe that the 15-year-olds, the teams that are below 15-year-olds, there can be a quota system there. A lot of people probably don't agree with me. And the reason why I say there can be a quota system at the below the 15 age group is with this. I believe that you're really going to start seeing kids rising above their peers when you get to under 16. I think under 15 is almost let everybody play, let them compete. The Swedish model is that I don't think you can win football games until 16 or 17. Before that, 15, 14, it's just about everybody who's on the team has to play, and you start weeding out people as soon as you get up to the 17s. So I'm okay with local players in Jamaica representing at the under 15 level, because there has to be a youth team as well that facilitates young Jamaicans developed on the island, the youngsters overseas in the diaspora will be getting their development as well, as some of them will be in academies, some will be in schools, some will be moving on to different things. But I think that the U15s should there should be some quota there, because based on development and quality from the diaspora, it can become a thing where not one single local Jamaican is on any of these teams. I know everybody is Jamaican. I understand that. But in everything in life, you have to have some kind of balance. You can't have the thing getting overrun where people start becoming disgruntled and kids are not breaking through who has potential, because the marking stick that we're using is very global. We have to be careful with that. We have to strike up the right balance when you are going to work with youth players in that way. And another thing that now we kind of segue onto the under 20. Another thing I heard the under 20 coach spoke about was, I think he spoke about the local league and how many people are youngsters who are actually playing. I just recently watched the All the Costa and the All Manning um, teams play, and it's tough. It's tough watching that. Shout out to Military Guna. Great job. I love what you're doing, Military. It's amazing, bro. I sat there and I got to watch the All Manning and the DeCosta and the Scout team. No, the surface had a lot to do with it. I looking at the surface, the ball just never comes on to the players' foot, like at the players' feet, consistent with like a consistent flow. The ball is always fluctuating and always bouncing, and I feel like those things can affect a player, because you don't want to be thinking about the football coming to you. You want to know the football is just gonna be there on your foot. And looking at the U20 games, it didn't seem so. It seemed like players had to think about controlling the ball. Obviously, these guys didn't get a lot of time. I wanted to see Kahim Dixon. Kahim Dixon, very quick player. What is the story on Kahim Dixon? Does he play under 20? Some people are saying he scored more goals than Whisper, but it also goes to show how you market a player. Before the Manning Cup, I would say Craig Butler, Richie Royal, everybody, they marketed Dujuan Whisper as this amazing thing, and he went in there and did that under the spotlight and under the scrutiny. So I think that's why a player like um what's his name, Dixon, a player like that is maybe goes under the radar, though he had more goals. So I didn't get to see much of him in the game, because it was, when you have players trying to prove themselves, you have scouts, players are not going to just pass the ball. So watching the under 20, it just shows me that, dude, with a lot of those players, though, I see it's too late. As young as some of those players are that I saw in the Manning Cup thing and some of those things, I thought it's too late for a lot of those guys. A lot of the simple, basic things that I see them not being able to do tells me that becoming a professional is going to be really tough for a lot of those players. And that's how football is, a tough reality. A lot of those guys that play down there, I think maybe 5, a lot of them are going to go away, of course, and populate the college system. They need players in the college system, and maybe somebody will surprise us and jump out as this new kid. But watching that game, I couldn't. There was this kid from the Audi Costa Cup team. He's very short, was playing on the left-hand side, very skillful player, look dangerous, attacking people. Like, I don't remember what his name was, Siobhan, but maybe I could drop the link, Siobhan. Because Siobhan, see if you could join me. Maybe you could join me on the phone or the stream. You were there recording. Right? Let me see if I can give Siobhan a buzz, because I remember Siobhan was there. at the under 20 at those tryouts. So he let me see if Siobhan I could get Siobhan on the phone. Because I don't want to give those guys, I don't want to not give them a fair shake. But what I was seeing on the screen, it wasn't all that great. Let's see if I could get Siobhan on the phone. But maybe Siobhan is at work. Who knows? Yeah,
Yo, bro.
yeah, Siobhan, I would just love to get a little quick roundup from you. You were at that all the Costa Cup tryouts, right?
Yeah, I was at the both of them Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday. All right. I was saying, Siobhan, I haven't seen anybody that really stood out to me where I thought, whoa, this is one that we have to really pinpoint. What did you think about Kaim Dixon at that one?
Sports property. Kaim,
Yeah.
to be honest, and someone else had shared the same. One of the scouts, I heard him mutter it as well.
Mm.
That both Kaim and Malachi, they were to some extent they kind of regressed in some extent. But as you mentioned,
Regress.
because of the whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
you know, a lot of players they may have had their intentions of wanting to impress the scouts.
Yes, yes, yes.
So the ball probably wasn't playing as fluent as possible. The two players from the Docker stock up side of things that really impressed my eyes
Mm-hmm.
was the same number 19. He plays for Glenmore. Can't remember his name right now,
Mm-hmm.
but he had an amazing season as well.
Okay. Is he a
Um,
striker?
he's a winger.
Winger,
He plays
winger.
on the wing.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just like how you saw him play. That's how he actually played during the entire Manning Cup season.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he was a very talented player. You can see it in the highlights that he played as well. So we
Mm-hmm.
have to give him that. We have to give him that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought Siobhan that
So
for a lot of the players though, it's not gonna get better. I saw like
honestly,
they just didn't get it yet.
honestly, it honestly, I only heard the scout made a comment pertaining to two players,
Mm-hmm.
but the own from my personal viewing, because I saw basically all of the games, there were only between the 2 days there were only like probably like 3 or 4 persons that really caught my eye.
Who were those players?
There was one of them, the guy that I don't know if you remember the same Dakar Stocker game, the same game that the guy from Denver was playing in.
Mm-hmm.
There was a guy that was playing in the middle, number 5. His name they call him Busquets.
Yeah, yeah.
He caught my eye, the number 5. He was playing extremely well because he came on and you saw where he was dominating the game, but you can see that based off the players around him,
Mm.
it wasn't really helping in that aspect. But there you had him, you had the number 19. There was this left back on Saturday. He played well in the feature game. He never really came into the game as much. I don't know because he had played around 5 games prior to that on Saturday.
Mm.
So maybe he was
How much
lethargic or
games? How much
something.
games did they play total?
All right. So the ones on Friday they played 4 games, 4 20 minutes halves.
Mm-hmm.
In the morning
Okay, okay. It's
session.
20 minutes halves. Okay.
Yeah, we're 20 minutes halves, and then in the afternoon, the feature because there were mainly two feature games.
Mm-hmm.
The all scholastic teams, which comprised of the students who had more than 6 CXCs already.
Mm.
So the all scholastic team, and then there was a select team from the scouts.
Yeah.
The
I
second best
wanted to
players
know
at this,
how did the scouts select this team? Was that just like a precursor, like they were watching the Manning
the
Cup before they came and they
the
said,
all scholastic the
mm,
all scholastic team. I think it
the
would have
scout team? Yeah.
no man. The scout team they were selected based off their performance in the morning.
Okay, okay. So it's like assembling some of the best that you would see to play together almost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this, I said, the scholastic team was made up of mainly the players who had more than 6 subjects. Well, top quality players who had more than 6 subjects,
Mm.
and then the all Manning and all the Costa Cup teams. So they were made up of the team of the best players in each respective competition.
Mm,
Um,
mm.
I'm not gonna lie, the rural area of the combine I think it was the most promising.
Yeah.
I was informed that one of the reasons why the Kingston, the urban section wasn't so lit up to some extent would have been because a lot of the players now, their eyes have been turned away from the college route. So a lot of them have their eyes on going professional. So they never
You
really
think
saw the
that's,
sense of.
and I think that's a bad move because a lot of them are not gonna be pros, bro.
Yeah, so I think that came back something that happened recently because of some moves that happened recently.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of players believe that they have the opportunity to go pro. So I honestly agree because I said the players there, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's raw talent of it. There's raw talent
Yeah,
there, but
yeah.
there's more work that needs to be done. To be honest.
Yeah, when I looked at that All Mannings and the All Scout team, I said a lot of these kids are operating on pure stamina, speed, and just a love for the game. But I think they miss a major part of their development because when you get to what I realized to one of the things that hold Jamaican players back, when you get to a certain age, coaches do not have the time to go back over your fundamentals. The coaches are not going back over fundamentals with a 22-year-old, a 23-year-old. You're already past the time of doing getting your fundamentals right. At that time, coaches are thinking about, no, you need to start learning the other phase of the game, which is winning. So what I saw, Siobhan, was a lot of the youngsters didn't have their fundamentals down. They're just operating off raw talent. So yeah. So let's see. I still think there's, so as I said with the whole quota system, guys. When it comes on to the under 15s, I have no problem with a all island team from Jamaica with under 15s because I think, and then from there, the ones that are good enough kick on. So at each stage, the under 15 can be a filtering stage. The under 15 can be a filtering stage. So you know everything up to under 15, the ones who are good enough kicks on to get a chance into the under 17. And it's probably gonna be 3 or 4 that's really good out of the under 15. And that's when you get another 3 or 4 from this place in the diaspora, another 3 or 4 from there. Before you know it, you have a 23-man squad. But the under, I'm okay with the quota system at the U15 level, because you can't have all the teams where there's no low, because based on the quality development that a lot of their counterparts age groups are gonna get in the other countries, it would have been difficult for local boys to cut through if we're gonna scan the diaspora for under 15 players. So that's my take on that, Siobhan.
Yeah, I don't think anyone actually can disagree with what you just mentioned. Because I might say even a quota system, maybe till up to under 15, not under 15, under 17. Because I honestly don't see anything wrong with having a quota system, but not having a small amount.
No, I
But
think the
ensure
under
that we are
17,
able.
Siobhan, is too important to have to have a quota system.
Quota.
Yeah. Because the
I
under
don't know, but
17, the under 17 is where the world is really looking at the talent. The under 17 is really where they're at they're at that corner, like they're at the milestone between breaking into the pros at 17, or you have the potential to become a pro. I don't think under
yeah, that's
17.
understandable.
Yeah.
That's understandable. The quota system that I was talking about is
Mhm.
merely having it saying that you have to have at least 5 local players. It should be my quota system for U17. Not to say that there should be a maximum of 5 overseas players. I would say that you have to have at least 5 locally placed players in the team at that time. So, but as I said though, going back on the combine from Saturday, as you mentioned, the developmental aspect of it, you could have seen, and looking at some of the scouts, you could also see it as well as if they weren't as
Impressed.
impressed. I
Yeah.
know, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't as impressed. Yeah, I wasn't impressed at all. I couldn't look. There wasn't one player that jumped off the screen for me. That was the thing. I was just looking to see who's this player that could maybe. Um, Kyle Dixon. Siobhan, is he good, or it's just he was good enough to get a lot of goals? Because they said man like Jardine Fletcher, them man they basically have the Manning Cup record or schoolboy record for most goals, and he's not doing much. So what was it like? Is it a thing that we should no longer look at the top goal scorer of the Manning Cup as even anything?
All right, so
Hmm?
I'm going to try to use this as a measuring stick.
Mm.
So a lot of the top Manning Cup prospects, they 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 dominate amongst their age group, and some of them are even older. Because for Kaim, it was brought to my attention that Kaim himself is actually 19.
Karim
So
Dixon.
if you have a
So he
yeah,
can't
so if
play
you have a
under
19,
20 actually.
no, you can't. You can't play under 20. So
Oh.
if you look at Kaim Dixon, despite his performances in this season schoolboy football competition,
Mm.
and then you look into it, he's going up against 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, 17-year-olds. So those are players that who is older than. Physically, he will be more developed than them. So despite his dominant season, you may see a reason as to why some persons may say that, hey, you can't look into that too much because he's way older. He's basically an adult.
Yeah,
In
yeah.
Europe, they're not going to
I
have a
think he's actually
19-year-old.
screwed now then. I think if Kahim Dixon is not gonna be able to play under 20, I think this to me, this actually limits his success.
Yes,
Um
I always say this. This is something that I have always said for some time now. I think
mm,
the Manning Cup should change the age range.
yeah, yeah.
And management had made a good suggestion recently because I think the government had made it a law where persons have to go to sixth form. But if a player is in the sixth form, have them play in a different
There
tournament
should be another
competition.
league for six farmers. It should be the
Yeah,
six farm something. Like something needs to
yeah,
be there.
pre-college because realistically, sixth form is basically pre-college. And so you have a 19-year-old who's basically an adult going up against high school.
High school kids, yeah,
So
yeah. It's crazy. It's not. It's
so
not. It's inflated. The numbers are not pure.
yeah, so despite his dominant season in the Manning Cup, after I found out his age, I was like
Yeah, he's
that
screwed.
that level of excitement that I had, it kind of dwindled to some extent because I'm saying like, hey, he's really older than everybody else, so he should be dominated.
Mm.
So but yeah, but other than that, as I said, it wasn't the best of the combine. The persons came out. You said you had one or two persons who I think the scouts may have a good look at.
Mm.
And as I mentioned, a lot of the scouts they already knew Malachi because throughout the entire time you could hear them talking about Malachi for the entire time. The last year he was phenomenal. This year he wasn't that much. So you can see where there was about. I know some players will get opportunities. I get the initiative is good. It shows persons that hey, you can have a future with football, even if you don't go pro. You can get an opportunity to go overseas to get a higher level of education.
Mm.
So that's one good thing about the situation. I'm not sure why the urban students never took took the opportunity. I think them wanting to go pro
Yeah, yeah,
directly. I don't think it was the best of choice to say I want to give up because, to be honest, they're not all gonna make it.
yeah.
And I
Everybody's
think
on
a
this
higher,
GoPro thing, bro.
but it was a good experience.
Yeah.
You got to speak to a lot of players. You got to speak to a lot of the coaches, getting to understand exactly what they're looking for. And I think some of the high school coaches could have actually shown up as well, so that they could then get a better understanding of what the scouts overseas are actually looking for in the players. So,
Mm.
but it was a good experience though.
Yeah. I don't think that some of these guys should go pro right now. I don't think that's a good I don't think that's a good thing to go pro. See, Chris Smith is saying no quota system at the U17 and U20s. Yeah, I agree with that. I think the U17. That's when you're gonna realize if you're gonna get a few of these players to kick on at that level. You see me I say? That's when people in the diaspora the most jersey. Why don't you put quota on the jersey sale? Jesus Christ. Yo, when they hear the word quota drop, Chris Smith rise up in a master. When Jamaica play in Canada, more Jamaicans was there than yeah, but Chris Smith, that's not what you use to determine quota. Where I said no, I'm okay with the quota system at the under 15 level because I believe that you have to give the youths them have to be playing at some point. You know, some of them have to get playing. So I think so. I think you have to do that.
But JT, there's something though that I would want to say though. Um, on the game Saturday, the All Mannings team,
Mm-hmm.
I have to give as much as we may beat Mr. Butler, a person might beat him about his unorthodox ways.
Mm-hmm.
You could see the level, especially from his players, the Mona players. You could see where they were like literally. You could see the dominance in his players when they were playing the scout select team. When I
Oh,
say run
okay.
JT,
Yeah.
and I never realized this, Craig actually tells his players don't ever turn back the ball.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
he's
That's how Mr. Butler rolls. There's no turning back the ball.
there was
Full
a
speed
time
ahead.
in the second half. There
Mhm.
was a time in the second half where he made a change, and I think he was wing back. Got the ball and he passed back the ball to the centre back, and Mr. Butler he went off. And I was like, but if you know that for him, his players have to be fit because they have to be running at all times. Because when they're attacking, they only
Mhm.
leave two players back. Like literally, there's no midfielders. There's just everybody's just going full blown attack. So you have
Mhm.
to give him that. Um, I know for sure none of his players will be choosing the college route.
Mhm.
So because they know that his main thing is to have them go pro as quickly as possible. So I think the better players from the Manning Cup side of things, I don't think they would actually be going to college. So I
Mhm.
think the scouts may have a difficult time choosing from the urban area section of the combine.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So how did the Phoenix players look to you?
They looked they looked a cut above the rest, to be honest.
Wow.
Um yeah, they looked a cut above the rest. I can't deny that. Dylan John from JC,
Mhm.
despite his small frame, he's a Phoenix player as well. So but he looked above the rest as well. So um as I said, I have to give him his plaudits on that. He has done a great job with his players.
Mhm.
It's just to see them up against better quality players to see how well they will match up. So for the all schools team, hopefully they are able to have that competition again. Go to Miami.
Mhm.
Um, so we can see them against better opposition. But for Saturday, you could see the dominance in them. If you watch the game, it was non-stop running from them, especially in the first half. So I have to give them that.
Okay, okay. Yes, Christian may say, but they can have a quota at the under 15 level, but not under. Okay, so we agree there. Whoa, me and Chris Smith them agree, bro. Yeah, the under 15 makes sense because I think at that point you get to filter out what gets into the under 17 because I think under 17 and under 20 is two of the most important programs in your football. Like the under 17 tells me, okay, does the future look good in the next 5 years? Under 20 tells me, can we find a few missing gems here and there, or somebody to come in and gain experience and help to bolster the team? So I wouldn't want a quota on the under 17, and we haven't. The game has moved on. The under 17 game look
No,
even.
JT, remember my quota, is not the regular quota where we limit the amount of overseas players.
But you're putting in
My quota,
a certain amount of local players.
yeah, at least 5 minimum. Well, maximum 5. Ensure that you try to
But
have at
suppose
least
it's only
5.
3, but we're
But they
good.
have to be, well, that's the case. But they have to be playing in the JPL. They can't just be playing Manning Cup or schoolboy football. They have to be playing in the JPL. So if you're not in the JPL, then the quota system won't apply because there's not enough. So if there's 1, 2, or 3, then fine. So I would say that. So it's not a quota to say to limit the amount. I mean, it's still limiting the amount of overseas players, but my quota system would be more geared towards having at least maximum 5 players from the local league who the coach deems is quality enough, who can work with at that time. Because you still want to give the players here up, you want to give them something to work towards. Because remember that same U20 tournament, it will open a lot of eyes to them. So if you say that, hey, I can use this opportunity, then give them at least the 5. But I mean, like I said, it's just my opinion. But yeah. So I mean, but as I said, for this U20, if there was anyone who had any aspirations of having a lot of local players, I think the combine would have showed that we are not there as yet.
I agree. I think the combine showed me it showed me that we just weren't ready, man. We didn't have the stuff. We weren't ready. Travis says, Siobhan Pierre, you know that only 4 diaspora players have passport. How that go work? Yo, the man them still. Oh, the passport thing them I go Travis special. Yeah, man, we're not worried about the passport. And I'm not worried about John Wall getting influenced either. Because if it's one thing I know, my daughter is Swedish. Like, I lived in Sweden. Swedish people in a tech program. I guarantee you, if they try that with John Wall is walking off that job. I'm telling you, that's something that I'm
And
not
that's
worried about.
that's one of the biggest fear. Because when I reached out to you the other day, JT, that was the main reason why I called you and spoke to you about it. Because I know what the whole situation can lead to. So I wanted to try to avoid that, but we understand that it's just rumors and it's nothing really true. So we just have to be hopeful. Because I know the coaches are coming back this week. So let's see what comes from it.
Okay, Travis Spencer said that he hear Mr. Speed on the next show. What did Mr. Speed say on the next show, Travis? What did Mr. Speed say, Siobhan? I just dropped the link as well. If somebody else wanted. What did Mr. Speed?
Yeah, I caught the show late. Hopefully Travis is still here so he can say what Mr. Speed had said.
Travis is still there, man. Travis is still there. I can see. I don't know what Mr. Speed did. Mr. Speed said it was what, a quota, or JT, you know that John Wall and Craig Butler are best friends into football business. Oh God. Yo, we don't know where you get them conspiracy there. Listen, you think John Wall actually knows what Mr. Butler wants from him. John Wall knows that Mr. Butler wants to have a pipeline to get his players through that he think is good enough. But what's gonna happen is John Wall will have to hold Phoenix Academy and the other academies to certain similar criteria that they're holding the schoolboy footballers, as they're not playing enough international football or enough professional time. Mr. Butler players are playing no professional time. Mr. Butler
Because
plays, right?
even his top player Whisper
Yeah,
Whisper is
Whisper
not
is.
playing professional either.
Yeah,
So
Whisper. The only thing that Whisper has right now is that Whisper has international football under his belt already.
but yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna see. That's gonna be tricky. I think if a lot of this problem is gonna come is I'm just waiting to see when John Wall select his team, and if there's only Whisper in there for the U20, you're just gonna hear Craig Butler is gonna go off. He's gonna go off. He's gonna switch. He's gonna say that I brainwash John Wall. I promise you that will be his sentiment that I brainwash John Wall, fi no picking players them. You know watch and see. You know hear the prophecy there. JT under 70, under 20, too important, especially the under 20 because should be yeah man, those two teams should be feeding each other. Under 17 should be giving you the best that you got out of that, maybe 5 or 6. Because even a lot of people don't know 23 people can go to an under 17 tournament and only 3 or 4 kick on. You're lucky if you get 4 players to kick on steadily to become pro. Because if you look around the world, it's a lot of better clubs and better countries don't have under 17 players just rolling through. I think Chelsea they brought the midfielder from Senegal, right? I think they bought a youngster from Senegal, right, Siobhan?
yeah, I think Chelsea is still on a signing rampage.
Yeah, Chelsea. Oh
So
my God, Chelsea is like a signing machine, bro. uh,
so Mr. Speed said only 4 players from the Diaspora
of
have their
passport.
passports. So the next player should get them on the end of the month. All right. So
Okay,
what I
okay.
believe, because what I have heard, a lot of the players from overseas,
Hmm.
a lot of them they are first team players. So I don't
Yeah,
think we'd actually get them
for
now.
this window, right? That's what I'm hearing.
For now, we won't get them before for a camp,
Hmm.
which I think might be some issue. But um, the players are interested. I've been reliably told.
Hmm.
There are players who are posting up their own. They're showing that they've went to the consulate. They're doing
Okay.
what they need
Which
to do.
was that the player from Sheffield?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So he a player from Sheffield. So he said he went to the consulate to basically get his stuff. That means he's
Yeah, he
serious.
posted it. He posted it on his Instagram story
I wonder if it's
to
this
show the
big kid.
world.
Him kind of look very mixed race, right?
Yeah.
I think I know who
I
that
was
kid is.
told I was told not to say the player's name, so I'm not gonna. But I mean, it's something that anybody can research.
Yeah, man, I know the player. I think he plays striker, right?
Yeah.
I think he plays striker. Yeah, that would be quite interesting. I think this under 20 team has the reason why I'm just keeping a listening ears out for this under 20. I think if the recruitment goes right or goes well, I think Jamaica might because all we need is three players from our under 20. And if Dujuan Whisper is already there, that's already one. We need 2 more players from our under 20 to break through. We need 2 more players from our under 20 for breakthrough. That's very, very, very important. We need a few more of those players to break through. Because that's why your under 20 is there. Your under 20 is right below your senior men's team. So Siobhan, as far as Dujon Whisper, what's going on now? Anything I hear people saying him soon start playing? I know he's not gonna play anytime soon. Um, but people are saying he's gonna play soon for the first team. What are you hearing, Siobhan? I know this stuff is just talk, but because just like they had the signing ceremony for some of those young kids going to Barcelona, but Chelsea doesn't do that, Siobhan.
Unless Chelsea is going to play football, play some games in Jamaica, I don't see Whisper playing anytime soon because Whisper is actually in Jamaica now. Up to Friday when I was at the combine, I know he was still in Jamaica at that time. Apparently the reasons for him not being in England is being withheld. But some persons are saying it's because of a work permit, which
What?
I kind of had
Wait, that both of
assumed.
that sound confusing. You're saying he's not in England because what?
Yeah, some persons are saying the reason why he's not over there is because of a work permit. He hasn't obtained a work permit as yet.
Mm-hmm.
Which something I had kind of predicted because due to some of the rules that I know governing the work permit situation,
Mm-hmm.
I know Whisper hadn't qualified for those. So I know him getting a work permit would have been difficult, especially at Chelsea.
Mm-mm-mm. So
So, but I don't want to say
I
what I
don't
do
know,
know.
man. This deal is supposed to just go through, but this deal is just like this is the strangest deal ever, man. I see Whisper falling into Chelsea loan business model. I just don't know just like the 100% of this loan deal. Like I just don't know. Like 1 minute I see Whisper in a tape, look like he might try out for the first team. 1 minute him it's so confusing, guys. But what I'm hearing officially is that he's a part of the under 20s, and those players are not in camp right now. So those
They
players got to
they
go
played
home
a game.
for Christmas.
He's actually a part of the under 18, and they
Okay.
played a game Saturday. They played a game on Saturday.
So where is so and he was, but he's not in the squad yet. You were saying that he's not even on the website, right?
Yeah, he's not listed on Chelsea's website as a squad player as yet. The signing is listed on the page from early last year, but there hasn't been any news. There hasn't been any press conference interviews or signing pertaining to the player. So, so the work permit might be a thing because I think they can't officially sign him unless he gets a work permit because you can't pay him unless he gets the work permit.
Work permit. So is it a
Yeah,
thing
so I
that they
think
had him come up and play to show that he's
maybe
actually going there, maybe to like
maybe
going?
it's just to start. Maybe it's to start the process of the work permit because I think someone said you have to be in the country to start that process.
Let me see if I
So
can.
maybe that's why.
Let me see if I can
So
add
maybe that's the reason why.
Richie to the thing. Cause a long time I'm gonna ask Richie how this go. No, we just want the kid to get on and start. JT, hope your stream now campaign for Raymond Anderson. Raymond Anderson. Oh my god. I don't know how I feel about Raymond Anderson. But Siobhan, whoever wins, man. Whoever wins. If it's Raymond Anderson, if it's Mr. Ricketts, their priority youth signing is Kendry Payes. They wrote out that's the Ecuadorian kid, right?
Yeah,
XLR. That's
yeah, he's a very talented player. He's a extremely talented.
yeah, that's the
The
kid
thing
from
about
Ecuador.
him,
Mm.
he won't have the work permit issue.
Okay, his work
He
permit is
won't have the
sorted.
work. It's not necessarily sorted because of the transfer fee. It was over 10 mil. So once it's over 10 mil, he will be qualified as an exceptional talent. So
Okay, okay. Oh
his is
yeah,
already sorted.
it's that kind of rule again. Is that rule? Is that
Yeah.
rule? Yeah, so bro, I just want the presidency to get so people, I didn't even so the Sidela thing has broken while I wasn't on YouTube. Exactly how I told you guys that it's gonna go, right? It has turned out the same exact way. So guys, let me break down the move to you guys exactly how the JFF played this. When you suspend those other girls who basically were holding out for payments, they disbanded the team, and then that in return paralyzed Sidela Mali because Sidela Mali then no longer had relationships with the new set of girls. So the girls that she had power over, those girls were no longer in the team. And boom, the JFF just took back power from Sidela Mali and just took back the female program. That's just a power move right there. That power move had to come. I didn't know when it was gonna come, but that's the power move. So they just put enough pressure on Sidela Mali to basically fire herself. That's basically what happened. See if I can. Yeah, so basically that's what they did, people. That's a basic power move. That's 48 laws of power right there. Basic. Somebody in the JFF is watching that. So because they know that, that's why they didn't bring those other girls back, because those other girls come back with power for Sidela. And if those other girls had gone back into the team, the JFF would have now still had to be speaking to Sidela um, simultaneously with the girls to come to an agreement. Now, what they disbanded that those girls, Sidela basically has no leverage in the JFF. Boom, she retires or resigns, and the power move happens, and JFF took back the female program. Whether or not that's a good thing, that's not for me to decide. Whoever is gonna run it well, and I hope the JFF run it well, because I think that Sidela Mali has done so well and left the blueprint in how the JFF can go about things there. Another thing that I can see why the JFF probably potentially can have some problem with Sidela Mali's influence, and this is how money causes problems with people. When if Sidela does a fundraiser for the reggae girls and that money goes to her organization, I think there was a problem at one point where Sidela's organization wanted to pay for some of the amenities through the organization, and the JFF want them to pay the JFF the money to pay them. And one thing that I do know is the FIFA mafia is very strict and very tricky when it comes on to allowing people to fundraise around football, and then they handle the finance. So I do understand what Sidela, because there's no trust there, and Sidela knows that, listen, this money touch the JFF, this money mash up. The problem is that's not FIFA best practices either. FIFA doesn't love FIFA don't like those third party fundraising outside money, because that's how influence happens in football. So yeah, Sidela has done amazing. She has rejuvenated the program. You know my stance on this thing. I just thought that the girls, I don't thought all of the girls should have quit, should have pulled out at the same time. I believe that the star-studded girls, like maybe the Bunny Shaws, the Spence, and the Swaby sisters, like those girls who are the heart of the team, the heart of the defense. You have your midfield and you have the goalkeeper and you have your top striker. I believe if those five players had protested and let the other girls carry on and maybe try to qualify the team, and then they come back while they got their monies. But I think now that the team hasn't qualified and they potentially got their money, I think the decision, it's very easy for the JFF as well to be angry, because Jamaica will be missing out on the first showing of the Women's Gold Cup. And that was
And
something,
JT,
yeah.
to be honest, this is just speculative from my end.
Mhm.
I still believe this whole situation was just a power move, if I'm being honest. The timing of everything, when Sidala
But
made the
Sidela dropped a
announcement.
power move back with the.
Oh,
I feel like.
no. So hold on.
Yeah.
Let me explain. So the girls and the FIFA Pro,
Mhm.
and the JFF had a meeting scheduled for Friday,
How did that
right?
garbage go?
I have no idea. I really don't care. I just heard it was on Friday. So the fact that she is in tandem with the girls, right?
Mhm.
And Fifth Pro, so she would have been aware of a meeting. But everything, when you look at everything that's happening now, the political landscape, it has been rumored that she is in close alliance with the other party.
Yeah. And 1 second, people,
And
hit the like button on the video, people. With 60 of us in here and we have like 10 likes on the video. Like, come on, people. Hit the like button. If you just came in, just hit the like button. It's the first time I'm asking when the show starts. Hit the like button on the video.
so knowing, well, based on what I've been hearing, she does have close alliances with the other party.
Yeah.
And I think the timing, the whole quota news coming out, because I said I heard it was a lie. I heard that it was a lie. It came from within the JFF and it was actually a lie. So when you look at everything, because if you're thinking about it, why would the incumbent, why would he want to release that news right now?
Yeah.
Like right now, when there's almost an election. Because even if that was the motive,
Mhm.
why release that information a week or two prior to the
I
election?
don't think so. And Johan, Kira in the U20 squad playing 90 minutes, 3 games, and was the man of the match on Saturday. Don't think Kira can play. I think he's too old. Right, Siobhan?
Kira is too old. Yeah, Kira is too old. I think he's already 20.
Yeah, I think he's too old. But yeah, so the power move happened. The JFF basically took back the women's program. The JFF now has to understand that this stuff is virtually documented. The takeover has been documented. So we can now revert back to the time when we can say to the JFF, that's when you guys took the program from Sidela and destroyed. You see me? I say so. The JFF, it's documented, bro. So you guys took the program from her now. So do it right, man. Or it's gonna be obvious that you guys took a program that was functioning and just turn it into garbage. So it's up to the JFF how they want to do this. Do you guys want to do this correctly? And are you guys are going to be basically just gallivanting and not pay, because you see that the JFF, I hope they has learned their lessons as well. The women are not so okay with not getting their money on time. When you're dealing with women, you got to make sure, yo, the fastest you want to know if how a girl did really feel about you, bro. Make she give you something on the fallout. She want back everything. If she buy her shoes, a watch, a cologne, she want back everything. Women don't really take talk when it comes to the money, bro. So the JFF, I hope you guys learned your lesson and be more transparent with the young ladies going forward and make sure the young ladies get paid. But I'm off that. I won't be on that train with you guys this year. JFF. Siobhan, your De Bruyne is back, right? I think Siobhan, did you get muted?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, I
I'm
say
here.
your
Sorry about
boy,
that.
your boy, De Bruyne is back. So to the
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, it's good. It's good that he's back. Um, as he came back, he got an assist, almost scored as well. Um, there's this thing going around that the Arsenal fans, they saw Kevin De Bruyne warming up recently for the Club
mhm,
World Cup, and
mhm,
all things in the Arsenal camp just start going downhill from there. So,
mhm.
um,
They better
well, I
hope
mean, it's good to have.
Copenhagen. You better hope Copenhagen don't beat them in the Champions League. That would not be good because you know if there's a time to beat Man Cities right now, I think they're vulnerable. I think they're
And
vulnerable right now.
it's also a bad time to be playing Man City as well. So,
Yeah. I think they're vulnerable right now. They better. I think Pep wanted to win, so like Pep. That's the thing when we love about the EPL. They're not just other teams are not gonna sit there and let you just run away with it every season. That's the EPL. JT, remember before the World Cup qualifiers, Damian, Andre, and company were talking about their monies, and they still turned up to play. Yeah, that was the thing, bro. That was the thing. I thought the girls not turning up. I thought the public sentiment is gonna shift, and a lot of people are not happy with those girls not turning up because it gives some people a chance to say, "Well, you see them girl, yeah, bro, them Jamaica not qualify, but it's not their fault." I thought they didn't handle it properly. I thought the star players should have boycotted the team
I
and let some
think
of the other girls. Because guess what, Siobhan? Let of the
see if
other
you can call
girls
back
who,
Richie. See if you can call back Richie now, JT.
yeah,
I'm come just see message back.
yeah, a lot of people, a lot of the girls who are in the team are not gonna ever play for Jamaica again, anyways. So they just did themselves no justice.
Yeah, that's true. It's unfortunate what has happened. Because I said I think the team could have, but you have persons who are still siding with the girls, saying that the girls have to take a stand.
Mhm.
But I think them doing what they did, it's hurting the national program and the future reggae girls more than anything. Because as I said, the first Gold Cup, and
Yeah.
we were not there. Coming off what we had less than 6 months ago at the
Mhm.
World Cup, to know that we haven't qualified for for the regions premier tournament for females.
Mhm.
I think it's a big downgrade, and I think persons may look down on it. So I think the only thing that could possibly not make it look that bad is because the men's team qualified for the Copa America.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
if we're
yeah,
a
yeah.
situation where the men's team hadn't qualified for the Copa America and the women's team hadn't
Woo.
qualified for the,
I think
you
Mr.
can just
Ricketts would lose the election.
exactly. So
I think him that lose the election, Siobhan, because people that say, yo,
I think I
qualify
think
for
what would have been
Copa, the girls them not get peer. I think he would have lost I think that would have got enough people to turn on him.
I think what would have been a better choice is to qualify for the Gold Cup, and then if the Gold Cup comes around and there's nothing, then you strike.
And you know
But
what? All the podium boss them, Jamaica go a Copa, they must say, yo, Mr. Ricketts don't say, yo, your podium safe, you know, boss. So if you play with the thing, 'cause remember, I know, if Mr. Ricketts go if Mr. Anderson go win and done a film set a man them where him plan out for feed them podium, right? Cause Shaban, some man done account up the money already for Copa, you know, bro.
I
So
mean, it wouldn't surprise me to be honest.
yeah, man.
Um, but as I said, I know because I said in contact with Simon because pertaining to like the designs and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and for the JFF this year is going to be a very busy year. As I said, it's just unfortunate that it's not going to be on the female side.
Mm-hmm.
Because I said I don't think the female has any games for this year. If they do, it's way up until the end of this year. So the female will remain inactive for now. But I know on the male side,
Mm-hmm.
I know that the federation is planning a lot. I know that the coach. I think I heard the coach say once that he wanted to have a non-FIFA window friendly,
Mm-hmm.
so that he could take a look at some of the players here.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look into all of that and you look at all the games that we're going to be playing, it's a very busy 2024 for the JFF so far. So as you have the Copa America, World Cup qualified, the Nation League, and then at the start of the next Nation League as well after the
Mm-hmm.
Copa America. So I know that the JFF has a busy schedule ahead for the male team,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish it would have gone and transitioned for the women team as well. But I mean, it happened, so we have to just live with what we have for now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think the female team needs to just focus on the World Cup, the next World Cup qualifiers coming up, however, whenever that is, because that should be their main goal after rebuilding. And the team still needed to rebuild because if you look at the quality in that team still needed quality. That team still needed
True.
quality. So that team still needed to rebuild. And I think they need to nail down as quickly as possible who the head coach is going to be, so they can basically get that out of the way. I think it's about time now that they do that. That they basically decide who the head coach is going to be, and we have some kind of just solidify the position there. So it's not a lot happening out there, Siobhan. They can spin these things into hours. This year we're gonna be more precise. Next week we're gonna be doing some watch along for the AFcan Cup. That's gonna be coming up. I really want to dive into the AFcan Cup, and I also can't wait for the Premier League to be back. You see me? I said was working on my graphics this week, Siobhan. So I finally can get everything on the screen moving now. You see me?
Which
Yeah.
is right. Which is right.
Yeah, always want to make sure I can get everything. Wanted to work out my audio. Oh, one of these days, and I also have worked out the audio where people on the stream can hear people on the calls. I said I wanted to make sure those things were in sync before I came back to YouTube. So
And
yeah,
it's sorted now.
yeah, man, everything is sorted now, man. So the show is gonna be on the road now. We're gonna have everything. We have everything on board now, how we want it to be. Jamaica will never go back to the Women's World Cup. I'll bet anyone that, says Patrick Riley. Well, um, why is that? If we have a good head coach and good recruitment, I think it's very possible. Still, you look at the teams that we just played, who Jamaica was basically not even a real team, and we still competed to go to the Gold Cup. So I think
I think
they have a chance.
I think a lot of this really stems from just because of the hatred that persons may have for the JFF,
Yeah.
and that Sidela has left. So for a lot of persons, which is
Mm-hmm.
understandable, a lot of persons may believe that the federation isn't competent enough to guide the females to another World Cup. Um, so so I can understand, but I would say them not try to beat though, because remember there are still a set of girls who are playing, and the last thing you want to do is to demotivate them, because they came in a time of need when the country really needed them. And I think they only lost one game, right, JT?
Who?
The girls, they only lost the makeshift team.
Yeah, and yeah,
I think they only lost to Panama
yeah, so they
in
did
Panama.
play. They did represent themselves very well.
Yeah, they
Um,
represented themselves well.
Peter Mystic is saying it was just a smoke screen. It wasn't about the money. I think it was both, man. I think the girls wanted that money. There's a lot of money, bro. You know, women's football don't play as much as male football. And if you hear say if you get a bonus of 20,000 or so, and if you pick up a next 5 grand off of one next thing I want next 17 round, so bro, you're gonna want that money, man. You're gonna want that money, that Peter. I think it's about the money
And
as well.
JT, you need to address the link man them to,
Who's the link man them?
the man them I love complain on YouTube, and then when the team them a played, all of them on stream I do a big link for watch the game them before them take out them those go watch the game them.
So now do not burn out the link boss them.
Yeah man, you link up about them out now man, cause them not support the team.
The one them I try. The one them I try to burn out the link boss them. I don't know if me can burn out the link boss them, bro. The
No,
man.
in a your situation it's different cause you not there. But you can't have a situation, JT, where you criticize the team them. The other day with the girl them,
Mm-hmm.
bro, I expected the stadium to be filled when the girls qualified for the World Cup and they went up against Canada.
But
When you go
bro,
into the stadium, brother, they could have picked, choose, and refuse to fight. No, the way
but
our
when was the
persons
last
came
time a
down.
female football game has been ever sold out like in Jamaica? Any update
No,
on on a good number
when
six?
the girls report to them during the World Cup,
Mm-hmm.
when time them say the girl them never get them money and
Mm-hmm.
them have to use GoFundMe. You remember how social media reacted?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody and their mother had a comment about the JFF or the JFF this and the JFF that, and we all support the girl them. But the very next game at the stadium empty.
I just think football is on a low in Jamaica, bro. It's not just the female game. It's not just
No, it's not just the female game, it's in general, even the male team. I think Hallgrímsson had kind of related to that as well. Like he's wondering why persons are not coming out to support the team
Mm-mm.
based off the way persons react or behave online, or the fans behave online. You would expect a bigger turnout.
No, no.
So
It's just like in music, bro. The people who you see typing under the artist page, they don't go to concerts. It's actually real people who like have schedules and set time to go watch a game. Those are the people who go. A lot of people don't go to football game. I know people right now in Jamaica who can't swim. so so that means a person that if I get up and go on river, bro. So there's like a lot of people not even go to football game anymore. You say man them a play up a stadium today. I win. That's how some people look at it, bro. They're not like actual fans. And then they will probably stroll on YouTube and see a live stream and they just fire off on you or something. So it's not like everybody's that delicate. Maybe because we are delegated fans. Because if I was there, I would have got to go. If Jamaica was playing in Europe more, I would be there. Even the games in Austria is because it didn't work out with my job while me never end up being there. Um, Not everyone gifted to be certain things. Yeah, man, that's true, man. That's true. Not everybody is like a fan, bro. So and but the football is in a good place. I think we don't hear enough. Have you guys had enough news on Reese Nelson and Mason Greenwood? That was like the running topic. That's what finished out last year and started the New Year's. It's like, whoa, man. I thought those two players would have been in Jamaica
yeah,
already. The amount of video with them make about them two players, them seriously them players that are Jamaica already.
yeah, you
Yo,
even see people that send out message about say Mason Greenwood getting passport already, but it just I keep quiet. I'm like, bro,
God, God.
money.
The one them really milk this Mason Greenwood thing, bro. Poor youth. You probably did I play some football. The man them want show him in a Jamaican team. People, we're not as I said, we're not seeing Macy Greenwood in 2024 for Jamaica. I don't see that. A man jump in at the group when I Siobhan and say he might bet this a man at 1,000, he might bet this a man at 5. Macy Greenwood is coming in Copa. I say, whoa, come like I yeah working at the High Commission. Yeah, the man was so certain. The man said him talk to Mr. Greenwood cousin. People, me not buy them thing there. Like, me not buy them thing there, bro. And for me at this point, anybody want come in a dog. I'm more want to
Yeah,
see
the players.
the under 20 guys play. And if we can start to get in some feeder players out of that to actually
Yeah,
get
I
younger.
think that's what the main focus. I think that's what the main focus should be from the vloggers online is to just put attention because the Nation League, even though it's March, the U20 is a big tournament and that is priority right now. So I think most persons should turn their attention to that. Try to see if they can get the hype up about it. I mean, I know the coach is coming back this week,
I think they
so
said
we
he's
should
here.
be
He's
hearing.
he's he's there already, right? He's on the island.
Well, I heard he's coming back this week, so I can't verify if he's here or not. But I know he is coming back this week. I was told. Um, so let's just see what comes out. The list. I think the list is due later on this month. The 60-man squad.
Yeah, it should be out in this month, yeah.
So let's give it some time and see what comes out of it.
And yeah, and another thing, Jacob Ramsey, guys. Oh my God, the man, me see the people ma pick a squad with Jacob Ramsey them in night. yo, yo, the man them, yo, Jamaican fans them are the wicked. The man them can't satisfy. Like,
I mean, it's just like fans. It's just like fans in Europe still. When there's a link up to when a player is being linked,
Me not see it,
Even if they
no,
don't know
sir.
where they,
I say people
no
them
man,
go on.
JT, you see the fans they making videos, welcome to this club, start making videos, putting the player. So I mean it's not foreign to say that it's just the Jamaican fans. Because if you look at Mbappe, the amount of players seen that Real Madrid say that they're no longer interested in Mbappe. You see Arsenal, you see Liverpool, you see even Chelsea fans
Yo, if
putting up
Mbappe end
graphic,
up at
putting up
Arsenal,
videos.
if Mbappe end up at Arsenal, Arsenal would have be unstoppable. Because some of them goal that with
Um,
Arsenal them a miss. Because I think even with Arsenal, as you touched on that, I realized that their front three at Arsenal doesn't link up properly. I see Martinelli and Saka getting some dangerous balls in the box, but Jesus spends so much time outside the 18. That's why Holland and those guys get on the end of those things. And Arsenal has such good wingers, but they don't have that striker to put it in the back of the net. The Drogba, the Holland, those guys to put it in the back of the net. The front three link up at Arsenal is just not working. I think Jesus, for
yeah, I
me,
think
he's not a striker. He's not a nine. He shouldn't be playing that nine at all. For
yeah,
me,
but when he was at City, that was his role. That's why a lot of persons said that Jesus wasn't really scoring a lot because he wasn't a striker. He was more playing on the wing. Well, a more false nine.
yeah,
So he would
wing
come into the
forward
midfield to
kinda.
link up. Yeah, yeah. So I think I thought Arteta buying him would have been the same situation, but you can see the difference in quality from the City players to the Arsenal players up front
Mm-hmm.
as to why you're not seeing the best out of it. Because you hear a person saying that that is the reason why Pep was willing to let him go to Arsenal. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you look at it, Pep doesn't really sell players to his rivals just like that.
Mm-hmm.
If you think about it, he always tends to send them. With same with Raheem, which I think he may regret to some extent.
Raheem Sterling.
Uh, yeah, because Sterling he does have some qualities, just that his finishing at times is off,
Yeah.
but his speed is
He's
dangerous.
Jamaican, bro.
His dribbling is yeah. So
Who is the
I never
best? Who
forget.
is the
I will
best
never
finisher you would say Jamaica has ever produced? Because we're not known for our country of producing finishers.
finisher. Um,
Hmm.
like purebred finisher, not just raw power.
Just
I
finisher,
would have
like
to
get the
say I
ball in
would.
the back of the net. Get the ball in the back of the net.
I mean, Shelton is the leading goal scorer for us.
Okay, Ian Campbell said
Um,
Dion Burton. I might once him say
yeah,
that I
Burton.
think I
Yeah,
have to go
Burton.
with Burton. it was
I
it,
think for me, it would. I think for me, it would be between Burton and Marlon King. That's purebred
okay,
finisher
okay,
because
yeah, yeah, yeah.
When Marlon King was in front of the goal, 90% of the chance it's going in the back of the net. So it's not just about the amount of goals that was scored; it was the precision when he gets the opportunity to score, and some and
Ricardo
some
Fuller.
places where he scored from.
Mhm.
I don't think JT want to hear that name there, no.
Who that?
Full of name.
Oh, Fuller. Oh, yeah. Brother, we don't have no problem with Fuller, bro. I don't have any problem with Ricardo Fuller, man. Ricardo Fuller, as I said, Ricardo Fuller is not a great finisher. Ricardo Fuller is a creator. Him create opportunities out of nothing, like, you know what I mean. But he's not a. I think Marlon King and Dion Burton, because I remember Marlon King sing two teams for Jamaica. Remember one time we tried to qualify against Canada and we need about 4 goals. I think Marlon King scored about 2 in that game.
He's a very potent striker. So when I was here in the list before, I was waiting to see if anybody would call his name. But he's kind of a player that seem a lot of Jamaicans seem to forget. I'm not sure why, but Marlon King is.
Who's the best winger that Jamaica has ever produced throughout our history of football? The best winger.
A lot of persons will say Walter Boyd, but the reason why I
Oh.
can't say him, I never saw him that much. Um, and then based off numbers, so far you have to go with either Gray. because his numbers for us so far has been phenomenal. Um, he wasn't this player. He wasn't a winger, but he tended. When he was playing it, he roamed along the wings through a lot, and he had a lot of dangerous crosses in the box. It was Demar Phillips. I don't know if you remember Demar Phillips.
Yeah, man, Demar Phillips. But Demar Phillips was a wing back, bro.
Yeah, that's what I said. He wasn't a winger. He was, but he was whenever especially was playing left back.
Okay. Richie Poe say John Barnes, but John Barnes not play for Jamaica.
Yeah, John Barnes I wouldn't consider. If that were the case, then I could have said Raheem Sterling. Then he's probably our best winger.
Yeah, John Barnes played for England, innit?
Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Yeah, so I wouldn't consider John Barnes in this category.
So you just say Walter Boy? Shelton was a winger too, right?
Who?
Luton Shelton wasn't a striker. Wasn't he a winger?
No, man. Shelton was a striker, man.
He was a striker. But for Jamaica, he was playing on the left at one point, right? When in that World Cup qualifiers.
Honestly, I can't remember Shelton playing striker, not on the wing.
Yeah, man, Shelton was
playing. Because I think when Shelton was playing,
you know why? When Shelton was playing wing, Shelton was playing wing because this guy named Ryan Johnson from some MLS team
came in.
Yeah, he was playing the center forward. Shelton, I think, was on the left. Because I'm thinking about that Mexico game.
There was this shiny brother that was playing on the wing. I can't remember what his name, but he was quick.
In that game?
I can't remember his name. Hold on, man. No, man. He was there when Gareth McCleary was there.
No, man. He was a CDM, bro. A big.
Who does say Flemings?
No, it was No, there was this big tall brother where I don't remember his name. He did come in and play the CDM role in that game that they played very well. But when they came to the National Stadium and Nosworthy went down with that injured, and then Jermaine Taylor had to start playing center back. The whole World Cup campaign just ended because Tapa went down to Mexico, and we should have beat Mexico handedly.
Jamal Campbell Rice. You remember Jamal Campbell Rice?
No.
Bro. Campbell Rice was quick on the wing, bro.
I heard
he was quick.
So you say Walter Boy. So did we say Walter Boy? Them say, oh, this someone I said Junior Fleming.
No, I said a lot of persons might say Walter Boy because of his trickery. Because remember, that's what Jamaicans kind of. Because a lot of persons say that Walter Boy is Jamaican best ever player. Being going around with MG, with the thing, you hear a lot of persons talking. The main person that players talk about is Walter Boyd, Whitmore, Nandi Lowe. I realize a lot of players, mainly in the rural areas, they don't actually give a lot of praises to the Jamaicans who weren't born on the island. They only give praises to the local players here. So, but for me, the best winger I would say is Damari Gray, based off numbers so far.
Yeah. I would say that too. At this point, I think he's running away with it. Richie Post Sports said Damari Gray's looking good. Richie Post Sports, join the show, man. We haven't chopped it up in a while, but we only have like 30 minutes left still. Either way, but yeah, I'm looking back at it. So it has to be Leon Bailey then. Well, Leon Bailey would be the most what would you say now, accomplished Jamaican football player.
Damari Gray won the Premier League.
With who?
With Leicester.
Damari Gray was at Leicester at that time?
Yes,
me know that Wes Morgan was there.
Damari Gray was there as well. Damari Gray has a Premier League.
Oh wow, crap! I didn't know that Damari Gray was at Leicester. I did not know that.
So Wes Morgan has won a Premier League. Damari has won a Premier League for Jamaican, and I think those are the only two. Again, some persons would say would say Raheem Sterling. But those are the only two that have won the Premier League that's actually played for Jamaica. So accomplished. Leon really hasn't really accomplished anything as yet, other than I think probably best goal in Europe. But he's making a name for himself. He's playing, especially this season. Hopefully, the form transcends into the national team come March for the Nation League. So, because you can just imagine an informed Leon and an informed Gray on two wings. That's dangerous. So
That can be very fluffy. Can really have Belgian Young Player of the Year
player of the year.
2 times. Okay. Wow. So I think it's safe
Well,
to
that's
say
good.
you have to say Leon Bailey. Who is it? Who would you say is the best midfielder? I would say attacking midfielder because we can't just say midfielder overall that Jamaica has ever
Best attacking
produced.
midfielder.
Yeah.
For me, I'm going to say, I'm going to put it at Andy.
Andy Williams. Whoa.
Yeah, for me.
Andy Williams. You know, if he's a topper better than Andy Williams. I think Andy Williams' ability to kick free kicks and his passing ability might give him the edge over topper. I think
The
so.
reason why all right, for me, the footballing IQ that Andy Williams showed, like I said he wasn't the fastest, but guess what? He still was a general in the midfield.
Yeah.
You couldn't take the ball from him. He controlled the midfield. He ensured that the game was his. Um, so I think the 2 years where Tapa had him was mainly dribbling and the speed,
Mm-hmm.
but precision wise, Andy Williams made the game look easy. He and Jermaine together kind of played similar. It's just I never understand why Jermaine game couldn't transcend to the national team, but Andy Williams for me, no doubt there. And it's up to this day is one of my best. It's one of my favorite reggae boy. So it'd be him, Donovan Ricketts, and the no Damari Gray. So those three would be my favorite. Oh, well, Damion, sorry, Nana. I can't forget Nana Lowe. So them four there for me would have been my players of the reggae boy so far.
As we segued into that, and we will just do this last segment here as we talk about Damion Lowe. So there is still no news on whether or not Jamaica will find a defensive midfielder for the upcoming Copa America or the Nations League. Will Damion Lowe take up that starting spot again? Latibodir now they've been experimenting with the player at Coventry, playing him in that deep role. A lot of people might be getting carried away that Joel Latibodir is getting time now at Coventry. And listen, guys, in the championship, you get more time on the ball. You play in more space. I tell people when Latibodir comes to play in Kankakov, he's playing in high traffic, 90 minutes running. The room for error is just the mistakes. Like, it's not a lot of room for errors when you're playing in Kankakov. At Coventry, he has a team that's drilled and been playing together. They've been in the off seasons. He can get away with playing that position. I still don't think Latibodir can play this position for Jamaica full time. Like, guys, he's not gonna miraculously get better at this position this quickly, or this just so Jamaica can start playing well in that position. I see him playing at Coventry. He's getting a lot more time on the ball. And in Kankakov, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. He has to be more decisive. And the last games against Canada, he looked slow. He looked slow in that position. I wish that, I don't know, my youth, Damion Lowe's energy, his ability to tackle, and his ability to track back is perfect. It's just like the walking red card thing is just a thing where it's just a nightmare waiting to happen. That's my only dude. If Damion Lowe wasn't up, listen, if Damion Lowe came on in a game, Siobhan, okay, if Damion Lowe came on in a game and played the way he played against Canada as a 23-year-old or 24-year-old, somebody would be scooping up Damion Lowe like, whoa, a defensive midfielder playing at that high intensity. And Damion Lowe simplifies the game when he gets the ball. He gives it to somebody. He doesn't complicate things. But even in one of the goals that we got, Damion Lowe kicked down a man in that Canada game, then Siobhan. The slide tackle they were making up. I see him make a slide tackle and the ref, I don't know how the ref made that play. Let that play. And that's the thing. I believe that the American fans are very, what do you call this? Big up yourself, Reese Boss. The American fans are very good at, what you call it now, manipulating the referee into making a call. And that's what I'm scared of with Damion Lowe. Him going in there and they start putting this pressure on him and they're gonna have to make the call. That's what I'm worried about with Damion Lowe. So Reza Boss, can Jamaica do it in this upcoming Nations League semifinals? Do you start Damion Lowe there? He has everything that we need there. It's just the brain. We need the neural link from Elon Musk to see if we can program it and program him to Damion Lowe. Listen, when you not every tackles you're gonna win the ball, and if you don't win it, you don't have to kick him down. You can do it again and try to get it next time. Because I think Damion Lowe goes into every tackle like it is the last tackle. And we don't, that's not healthy, Richie.
Listen, first of all, Happy New Year to you, JT, and to all the viewers and subscribers. A pleasure to be in your company on Sports Prophecy TV. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button and give continued strength to JT and Sports Prophecy. JT, again, I salute you. Why? Specifically because you have a passion for football. You have a love for the game and you have an appreciation and understanding of the game. So when it comes to matters football, not the passa business off the field, it makes it a pleasure. And I'm hoping that 2024 we can link up much more often on Sports Prophecy TV to chop up the game, the beautiful game of football.
Yes.
To address the question, listen, Damion Lowe, let me ask you the question. Do you not think, having known Damion Lowe for longer than myself, that he has more experience under his belt? We know the passion is there. The commitment is there. And that's one of the reasons why, watching from London, England, Rich Post Sports' Reason Boss enjoys and knows what he's getting. Damion Lowe does what it says on the can. He's not backwards in coming forward. He wears the shirt with pride. And he's a quality player. Of course, sometimes his choice and selection of tackles lefts and leaves something to be desired. He's got pace and he usually tries to make up for his maybe tactical acumen with pace. But I think experience is something that he's got in the bag. How much emphasis do you place on him? Older, wiser, question mark? What say you, JT?
Older, wiser, and scarier. I just don't feel like I don't know if he's getting it. I'm just wondering, like, it's just one thing. You just asking Damion Lowe. It's like, Damion Lowe, right when that little voice in your head I tell you, say, a dirt. Just I don't know if somebody can just pinch him and say, Damion, it's okay. Not every tackle has to be that tackle. I know Richie Paul, Damion Lowe can then come back and say, but JT, my stats shows that I have accumulated a lot of red cards playing for Jamaica. But I would combat that with saying that Damion Lowe, something that I think you were very good at was negotiating your way out of red cards. He was very good at that. He has a way where he goes up to the referee and he goes like this, and he just nullifies the situation very, very quickly. I've seen, I don't know if you spotted that, Richie. He's good at that. I think that's where experience comes in.
Yes.
You've seen that with him, right?
I have seen it with him. You're spot on. You've not missed a trick there. And Damion clearly hasn't. But I wonder if the likes of a coach Jaime Hallgrímsson would have offered him that shoulder, that arm around the shoulder, that word whisper in the ear to say, look, especially after that, JT, I don't know about you, but last year, I'm looking forward to 2024, God willing, inshallah, with a lot of excitement. There are great opportunities for the reggae boys in 2024. But that game in Calgary, that game in Canada was my reggae boys moment of the year and performance of the year. 1-0 down at halftime in a game that would see them knock out Canada, who now have to scrape and scrap against Trinidad and Tobago. To beat that team 3-2, 1-0 down at halftime. Boza Nicholson, I keep saying Edwards, Boza Nicholson, bringing his A game to the party. He's a player who has improved leaps and bounds in terms of confidence. And to see him linking up with Damion Lowe, who had a word at halftime with the team, with Coach Jaime, who gave the A-OK. Let's be crystal clear. Whether Damion Lowe put up his hand and said, I want that midfield role. We can turn it around, and I want to be at the fulcrum of this second half comeback. Coach Jaime was wise enough to take confidence in what Lowe was saying, and the proof was in the pudding. Wonderful tackling, pressurizing the opponent's defense, and laying on the fact that first goal for Boza. Wonderful tackle, simple pass to Boza on a plate, and he just had to lay into the ball, whistling into the net. Wonderful, no chance for Bojan. And then a wonderful run by Demarai Gray. I didn't know Boza could run like that.
Oh man!
Beautiful pass into the running, onrushing Boza Nicholson. It was a wonderful, wonderful goal and a wonderful second half performance, particularly by the Reggae Boys. They've got a chance against the United States. I make them slight underdogs, make no bones about it, in the United States of America, but they have a fighting chance. I must say though, and this is not actually, it's not been broadcast and foghorned loud enough, JT. Can you just give confirmation to viewers and subscribers? Am I hearing right that for that United States Nations League semi-final, that there are some key hitters, namely a Demarai Gray and Boza, who may not actually be starting? Is that?
Yeah, they're out.
Wow.
Not just starting.
That's no small thing.
One is on 2 yellow and one is on a red.
Is on the red. But I think they will still will be. I think they should.
Yeah, they
still
will
be
have
called
to be
because
camp, right? Because if
it's
Jamaica
2
wins,
games.
they
Wins
go
or
on,
lose,
right?
win or loss. It's 2 games because we have it'll be a third and fourth as well. So regardless of the result, I think they would still be there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I honestly wouldn't mind.
Okay, so they'll be there.
I honestly wouldn't mind if they would, because I think the first yellow that Damari picked up, I don't think that was a yellow. So I don't know what is the JFF.
He has a red, Siobhan, so he's not playing. What I want to say though, Devontae Cole, Barnsley, I've looked at his stats, playing very well. He was in camp getting his documents. He's already having 14 goals midway in the season, which his season high last year was 14 goals for the entire season. So that seems like a good striker there on form. And I want him to come in and compete with Shamar by pushing Shamar. I'm not there for him to say, I want somebody to come in and take Shamar's spot. What he does at Burnley is, though, he's very fidgety around the box. And he's very decisive. He knows he's gonna push it and run past you, or he's lining it up to shoot, or he's gonna make the pass. I really like that about him. I've looked at him the past 2 games for Barnsley, and I said, I think Jamaica might have a sleeper player here on our hands.
JT, is he the son of Andy Cole?
I think they said so. Somebody said so.
If that is the case, he's coming from good stock. I took the opportunity to check out Devontae only via YouTube and clips, extended clips of him playing for Barnsley. I must say, I've got to add the caveat: if he's indeed in line for a possible starting place, I don't know if that's the case, but I must say, Demarai Gray and Boza not being in the starting lineup for Jamaica, that makes them, in my books, definite underdogs against the Americans. I think that the Americans will be chomping at the bit. Them now ramp. They don't want to be losing to Jamaica at this juncture. They want to lift the trophy, no doubt about it. So this would be an even greater victory if Jamaica beat United States by any means necessary. But the thing about Devontae Cole, for me, from the highlights only, he looks like he's a box predator. He looks like he's But by that barometer, the thing for me is he needs quality service. The fact that Demarai Gray will not be there, he needs wingers and midfielders. The Bobby Reeds will have to come to the fore. The Leon Baileys will have to bring their A game and provide that kind of in the box service for him. And I don't know if it's going to be as easily done. It's going to be a massive game to win. Trust me. It's the hardest game that Jamaica will have faced for a while. Harder than the Canadian game, in the Reason Boss's opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to let Lanzi come in on this one. I think he looks like a player as well who can feed off scraps. The reason why I say that, he looks, a lot of times when Boza holds up the ball for us, he slows it down to 0. This guy, he looks like he doesn't, whenever he gets around the box, he seems like he knows what he wants to do, even if he's by himself. I think sometimes Boza slow down the play for the hold up to get everybody in, where he could have basically maybe attacked the center back a bit more, just to put a little pressure. Maybe they take him down in the box with VAR. The United States game, Lansley Blake, with the home crowd advantage, I don't know if I could risk a Damion Lowe running wild out there, coming out of preseason as well. I don't know. I'm not confident.
Since it's my first time on the program for the year, Happy New Year to everybody on the
It's my first show
panel
for the
and in the chat. Well,
my first show for the year, man.
Well, okay. It's the first one I'm seeing, so it's not that I missed it, it's that you didn't have any. Okay. If Damion Lowe starts if he starts against US, it has to be as a center back. The reality of that is, I believe it is time for Grim to put the players in the positions that they play. Kira Anderson is young, but he's the only CDM away from the Jamaican born, what's his name?
Kevin Lambert.
Kevin Lambert. So for me, if the coach is going to start anybody at CDM, you need to start one of the 2 CDM. And because Anderson has shown his willingness to run, I believe the coach need to put the young man in his position. That's where he plays. And then if you put the 2, Kira Anderson, he's young and he has only played what, two games for Jamaica?
Yeah, 2 halves. He played a half and a little bit of a half. Yeah.
And he does tackle hard, but safer than Damion Lowe. And for those who might not know how hard he tackles. He tackles anybody that he deems in attacking his team, including as I saw him send Lambakisa flying because Lambakisa got in got involved in the tackle, and the power of the man literally got rid of both the opposition and his teammate. So if Damion Lowe starts for me, it has to be as a centre back. And then I believe Kira Anderson with two attacking persons. Bobby Reed should be one of them. And whether it's Johnson or it is he just came back from it, but he scored. I think I saw that he scored since he came back from injury the other day.
Is that Casey Palmer?
Casey Palmer.
Yeah, the verdict is still out on Casey Palmer, you know.
No, I believe if he has the cover behind him, with the ability that Kiroy has to also pass the ball and pressure the play, he will be a better player. And I for those people who have a verdict out, I'm not one of those that have a verdict out on Casey Palmer. As well as I don't have a verdict out on Johnson. I think we have continued to give Johnson a raw deal because we have asked him to do something other than his best. And he has not failed in doing a good job for Jamaica in any of the games that I saw him come on with us. He has always come on and done what is expected and changed the game. So whether it is Palmer or Johnson along with Bobby Reed, I believe once you have Kiroy Anderson behind, so we're playing a 3 midfield rather than a 2, I believe, even though I agree with Richie that they are with the reason, boss, that we are going to start as underdogs. It's America in America. I'm not even going to comment too tough on that. Anybody with any kind of brain power, we're going to start as underdogs. Can we win?
God.
Without Damari Gray, without Boza, and I am still not sure how it's going to go if Mikel Antonio will be back match fit enough. It is going to be an uphill climb. And I'm only speaking, JT, with the players that we know that we have. I'm not considering anybody that we can get.
Yeah, I'm not in the can get thing either, you know.
I'm not considering anybody that we can get. I would want to hear from Grim if he called our young CM,
Kiroy?
No. If he called our young attacker man, he's a winger but plays central too. No.
Not Hutchinson.
Hutchinson, yes. I would want to hear from Grim if he calls Hutchinson, because I believe this
player.
No, hold on. I believe if you put the quality players behind Hutchinson, Hutchinson can impact. He has enough to impact the US back line. With a Bailey. No. If the coach says he calls him, because if the coach says he call him, if the coach says JT, if the coach says he calls Hutchinson, I expect to see him. At this juncture, no, hold on. At this juncture, JT, I don't believe all the other excuses we thought about possible for him can be put in place, not at this juncture. So if he gets called, I expect to see him now, even when people could put in different things for him prior to now. So that would be my take on that. If we get a Hutchinson, Bailey on the right, I'm still short on the left. I'm still short because I'm not sure what
Yeah, the left hand side is the midfield.
Antonio is gonna be. And then this is where I would go for the left hand side. I still want to know what is the problem with Jamal Lowe.
Oh God, you're gonna dig up all
No, no,
things
no.
that know.
Jamal Lowe has never failed for in Jamaica shirt.
But Pastor, make we talk about who has been around the team.
No, no, no. I'm talking about who have documentation. All the players that have documentation for me, as until the time when the coach says I am past this player. Everybody, when I'm looking at the team selection, I'm looking at everybody that I know have documentation. Jamal Lowe has.
Yeah, we know Jamal has documentation.
So for me, the fact that he has never failed in a Jamaican shirt, we don't have Damarai Gray, and I believe, in fact, Jamal Lowe played probably his best game against USA.
Yeah, we know that Jamal Lowe is a baller, but
So
it's just a lot of stuff with the JFF and Jamal. It seems like Jamal Lowe is just. I think it has been a twofold situation where sometimes they overlook Jamal Lowe, but I think that there has been times Jamal Lowe has been called where he put family first, and I can't blame anybody for that. But I think that has occurred because he was in the team. He played well against Mexico when we went down there for that Nations League game. When Bobby Reed had the spectacular, he played well, but it seems like Richie Poe, are you there?
I am.
I'm looking at. I don't think Jamaica. I want to say, are we living off the euphoria of 16 minutes in a game? Because I think without Andre Blake in that goal, we're down 4 first half. And it's so I'm wondering, are we as good as people are making it out to be? Because I still think that USA is leaps and bounds ahead of us.
Make no mistake, JT, again, your footballing acumen, I've got to give you credit. JD, We Max It Sports would be proud of you. Look here, you're speaking. Rich Paul Sports' Reason Boss can tell you straight. You are speaking. The Americans are not going to be ramping. They've got a team that expect regularly to make World Cup finals. The Canadians against Jamaica in that fateful game where Damion Lowe turned things around with Boza big time. If Andre Blake, easily one of Jamaica's outstanding bona fide international class players, if he wasn't on point, Jamaica could have been 2-3-0 goals down. Of course, the caveat is Andre Blake is a goalkeeper, just like Alisson is a goalkeeper for Liverpool and Brazil. Just like Peter Cech was a great goalkeeper for Chelsea. The goalkeeper's job is to save goals and to stop goals going in. So Blake did his job for Jamaica, which kept Jamaica in the game. That's the way it goes. Bojan for Canada was unable to stop the quality that Jamaica brought to the table through Damarai Gray's quality on the wing and Boza's outstanding, decisive, clinical forward play. So you are right, JT, no doubt about it. On another day, another scenario, Jamaica could have been down and out. Remember, we were 2-0 down against Haiti before a revival and brought us a draw. So, of course, Jamaica are not the finished product. Coach Jaime knows that. I am wide open, and that's why I'm interested in listening to Lansley. I'm glad that Pastor Lansley Blake has a lot of confidence in the likes of Anderson in the midfield. I would love to hear Pastor Blake's take on Joel under the fire often, Latibodere, and his contribution. The midfield area for Jamaica is going to be one where I think that the Americans will not be backward in coming forward. In America, that midfield will be on point. They will be chomping at the bit and looking to dominate the ball and create gilt-edged opportunities. And if they take them, it will take the mother of performances by Jamaica to get them across the line and beating this United States of America. Any iteration of the United States of America that turn up with the likes of Weston McKinney, Sergio Dest, Pulisic, they've got quality players there. They've got quality players. So the midfield area for Jamaica, that's the area that really will possibly be decisive. I agree with Pastor Blake, by the way. Coach Jaime, he knows what he's doing. I trust the process, and I think that for a big game, he may well put Mr. Lowe beside an Ethan Rupert Pinnock in his best position, the position he feels most comfortable in. And if you need a plan B or C, then you could use a Deshaun Bernard in defense or a Michael Hector in defense, and then deploy Lowe if necessary. But I don't think necessarily that the favorite and the likely option is that Damion Lowe will start in midfield for this kind of a big semi-finals of a Nations League game. I don't know if you're feeling where I'm coming from.
Yeah. I think Pastor
JT,
yeah.
People mention Andre Blake's Superman performances, because he's consistent in doing these things.
Yes,
But I want people to realize this. Andre Blake, as our number one goalkeeper, has to continue to be consistent as Superman. The goalkeeping position in the Jamaican team is the only position that is 4 quality players deep.
Yep.
So if Andre Blake sneezes any day, he is no longer the number one goalkeeper. We cannot say that for the other positions on the field. I will say a next thing to respond to some of what Reason Boss was asking. As well as Jamaica has done thus far, Jamaica is the only unit in, and I'm trying to find words because I am avoiding using the word team, because we have not yet achieved being a team.
No.
We have too many players playing in positions where they're not settled. Jamaica, we're punching way above our weight division because we're not yet a team. Latibodere is not a CDM. He's a worker that will do for his coach whatever the coach asks him to do. He will give it his best. He's not a CDM.
A handyman.
Latibod, he's an all-purpose player, for want of a better term, because you can ask him to do anything and he's going to go there and wear his heart on his sleeve. He's not a CDM. So for everybody who judge him harshly, I would caution them to be mindful that he's doing what the coach asked him to do, not what he is best at. He plays right back and center back to a lesser extent. He can also be deployed on the left side if you are. Latibodere is the defensive version of Bobby Reed. You can ask him to do anything, he's going to go at it. And he's going to work hard. So, yes, he hasn't given us what we need at this level as a CDM. But please, remember that the young man is doing what the coach asked him to do, not what he's good at or best at.
So would you start him or Damion Lowe in the if those are your only two options?
it has no reason to be our only two options because neither of them are CDMs.
No, but Pastor, I'm talking about based on the past where they were our only options, basically. Based on
No, Kirai Anderson was in the team, JT. The coach just did not use him.
The coach is making it look like those are, or let's just say, I don't know, for some reason he doesn't think that Kirai and those guys are ready. And you have those two players. Who do you start in that big Nations League semi-final?
If I had only those two players, I would start Latibodir over Damion Lowe any day of the week as a CDM.
Oh wow!
Notice I said I would start him.
Okay. So
because I don't want to get a red card in the first half.
Yeah, that's me as well. I'm very worried about that. That's I think Pastor hold it right there, Pastor. I think you might have came up with a accidental solution. You know,
let me tell you something. People need to understand this. Playing America in America, every official is going to play the homegrown advantage.
A lot of pressure. Those fans are great.
Damion Lowe is not going to get away like he did against Canada. He's going to be carded.
He's not.
He's not getting away from it.
He's not. It's a sure.
If Coach Hallgrímsson, if Coach start him there, he's not reaching 35 minutes.
35 a game?
No, I am telling you, it's either he's going to get a double yellow or he's going to get a straight red before 35 minutes.
Yeah, I don't see the ending well if he starts, but I need the energy that he played that Canada game.
Hold on.
It's like you let go a pitch.
At that stage, adrenaline, JT, adrenaline. A defender, let me tell you this, a defender going to make sure that he shuts down the midfield is exactly what you want, a man for the moment. That don't make him a midfielder.
No, we know that. I'm just saying, like, Damion Lowe played that game like you go and you let go a pit bull on a field and just tell him to bite up everybody.
No, but watch this. JT. And I heard you mention it. Some people seem to not see this. For all my and all the football I've played, I play defense. I am the vanguard at the back line. Yeah. Damion Lowe, for want of a better word, is erratic. Very. He doesn't have good judgment, and he depends overly on his recovery speed. Very much so. Unlike a defender that is fast and plays positional football, so the speed matters more. Damion Lowe over relies on his recovery speed, and that is what makes him fit the definition of a walking red card. He's always on the line because he's out of position by nature.
Yeah.
Because he's sure he can get in position quickly.
And Pastor,
so that puts him negative.
The night when I called Damion Lowe a walking red card, I was motivated by the fact that this was the first time VAR was going to be implemented in a game with Jamaica and Damion Lowe. And it so happened that them tested out on him. I said, Damion Lowe, I saw in the past where he got away with tackles, that tonight with this VAR, he's a walking red card. And it happened. Damion Lowe need to understand when we say you're a walking red card. Let me just say this again. What I meant when I say you're a walking red card, it doesn't mean you pick up a red card every time you walk out on the field. It means that every time you're out on the field and we see you going a tackle, you have the potential to walk away with a red card.
It means he's more likely to get a red card than everybody else.
Yeah.
And his record shows that.
Yeah.
The man he's carded 33.27% of the games he's played.
Okay.
Pastor, can I ask you in summation, it's a busy household here in London, England. I'm gonna have to make a move in a few minutes. Can I ask you, what do you make of, full respect here, JD, every time, JT, what do you make of the Jamaican midfield, and do you think Coach Jaime Hallgrímsson, with his PR marketing ability, has what it takes to get additional players in, personnel in, if required? If he doesn't get the personnel in, what do you make of the current Jamaican midfield at its best in terms of being competitive, not only in the Nations League semi-finals, but also the forthcoming Copa America up against Ecuador, Venezuela, and Mexico? Speak!
I'm going to answer it this way. The coach has not declared whether it is he who is engaging the players or not in a way that I believe that I can hold him responsible for getting or not getting players to join the Jamaican setup. I still don't believe that the current JFF administration is doing enough or is mindful of getting too many more players from the diaspora to the Jamaican program, which is a tragedy. Both of those concerns is tragic in my mind. If we purely use the players that we have now, reason boss, the coach must trust Kevin Lambert as the CDM or Anderson as the CDM and play the midfield with three against no credible international team. Are we going to be on par or above any team except we play three in the middle? There is no two midfielder that is going to hold up against the three American midfielders that we're going to face, or the three midfielders that Ecuador and Mexico are going to throw at us. There is no two midfielder in Jamaica that's going to sustain that. None. And I don't care if they get Isaac Hayden and Baker together and put them in the two of them will not manage it. Because we behave as though Jamaica is the only place that have good players. And by the way, the other teams that we are playing, their three midfielders have been playing together for years. But we believe we can just take two midfielders and put them in there and they beat the three that have been playing together for years and are top quality midfielders.
I don't think people are really.
I can understand. Yeah, JT, you were saying?
No, I don't think people are really looking at it like that. I think because the problem that USA always runs into with Jamaica, sometimes the games get a bit more stickier than they probably intended. Just off, I don't know what happens. It's like CONCACAF teams as a way of kind of balancing each other out, even when the quality is more on one side sometimes.
JT, here is what is in Jamaica's favor. There is no defense line that is sure of themselves high pressing Jamaica with Mikel Antonio, Shamar Nicholson, Leon Bailey, Bobby Reed, Gray. There is no defense line that is going to be absolutely sure of themselves pressing Jamaica high. Because any of those five get behind the back line, you get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
So that works in our favor. That does not, however, make us a very good or competitive unit against top quality competition. We have good stocks in our lineup.
Pastor, Tennessee is saying that, Pastor, you can't say that USA won't run over Jamaica.
You say, don't use the word run. USA cannot run over Jamaica. They can overpower us. They have the military might, but don't use the word run. Please. This is, I don't want to move it from football to track and field. USA cannot run over Jamaica. Not possible. They can beat us. They can overpower us. I would go as far as to say they can outplay us on the football field, but they can't run over us. I am not using that word. Tell Tennessee to get the next word.
All right. Tennessee boss, get the next word. Richie Poe is the first show for the year. As we say, guys, I'm gonna be doing a lot of watch alongs, as I said, with the Prem. Before we close out, but your team dropped some. Your team, they spilled the water on the field again. Arsenal, Richie Poe. It's as I said, the transfer window is coming up. You know what you need to do. You know you need a striker. Is it Ivan Toney, the man? I don't know. Coming off a cold suspension, I don't know how much he can just hit the ground running in the EPL and play at the speed that Arsenal is playing as well and up the quality so quickly. I'm not so sure about that as well. I think Osimhen from Napoli probably would have been the Ghostbuster. I think if he gets into that Arsenal team with the other threats that Arsenal has, I think they would up there with Man City because they would have this guy now. Because what I realized with the Premier League, there's certain games that's going to be very tough and very sticky, even against like a Bournemouth or a Fulham. One of those teams just decide to play you well that day. You need that X-factor striker. When everything else is clicking, but you're not breaching the defense, you need that striker who's going to make either a power run or just feed off some scraps and get it in. Just like what Holland does for Man City. That's what they use to separate themselves from the pack. They have a goal poucher. Someone who can just get that rebound. Someone who just makes that run in between the defenders and pop off that header and win the game. Arsenal doesn't have that. Jesus spent too much time outside the 18-yard box for me. You have two amazing wingers. He's not latching on to anything.
JT, you've made some very good and pertinent points. I must say, I feel a way about the current Arsenal situation. It's a tough one to take, but the last couple of days I sent a text message. I was on Rich Post Sports, so I'm chopping it up with a fellow Arsenal fan, and I've disagreed with some fans. We're entitled to opinions, absolutely. I said, taxi!
Yeah.
Ivan Toney, get that brother in. If necessary, ASAP. Our current striking resources have come under sharp scrutiny, sharp spotlight scrutiny. Gabriel Jesus, you said it. You've said much of what had to be said. I put that brother in my fantasy league team, having seen him score from 3 yards out. Outstanding play on the wings from the Arsenal players. A little dink over, and there's Jesus. There's Jesus with a header 3 yards out. He could barely miss. I thought therein he would continue to get in the box, knowing that he can link up play outside the box, but surely there will be coming opportunities where he needs to be in the box and service will be provided for him. Some reason he's just not delivered. And when he had the opportunities, for example, against West Ham, he had at least 2 gilt-edged opportunities to test the keeper or beat the keeper. The ball ballooned over the bar. He's not a bona fide striker. I've been watching him for a few years now. I remember, I think it was Roberto Carlos, 2018 World Cup, the lead up to the World Cup in Russia. And I think it was Roberto Carlos, the great buccaneering left back for Real Madrid and, of course, Brazil, who said, this guy is the new El Phenomenon. He's the new CR9. Wow. Yeah, exactly. I remember him saying, and if it wasn't him, my apologies, but it was one of the Brazil greats. I don't think it was Cafu. And I heard this, and immediately I thought one of two things. Wow, wow, this guy, he must be a brilliant player. And Carlos or whoever it was must see something in him that others have not seen. Lo and behold, not one solitary goal in the 2018 World Cup. Huffing, puffing, and now years later, he's stated, I am not a natural goal scorer. That is not. Yeah, so it's a fact. So it's what's also interesting, I must say, is the importance of a manager. I want to check with Lansley and your good selves before I bid farewell. What do you make of Coach Jaime Hallgrímsson as a coach, as a manager? His coaching chops could well be again under the spotlight. Mikel Arteta has interestingly been coming in for criticism. A couple of people have been maybe mentioning it's time for him to go. Him not ready. We've had enough of him. But looking statistically at how Arsenal have played, they have created a number of chances during the games, sufficient chances to win a game, and then some. And it's the players, the Sakas, the Martinelli, the Havertz, the Jesuses, who have not put the ball in the back of the net. As far as the reason boss is concerned, I'll add captain extraordinaire Martin Odegaard. The hardest thing in football, as far as the reason boss of Rich Bowl Sports is concerned, is to put the ball in the back of the net. That's why the Osames, that's why the Tonys, that's why the Mo Salahs, that's why the Haalands get paid the big bucks. They know, and to have that clinical ability, it's not even X Factor is even an additional tool in the armor. But when you've got that clinical ability, cool, calmness, precision to score, it's outstanding. But Arteta has led and coached the team to play in a certain way to create the chances. Arteta is not playing the game. He's not in the forward or midfield position. It's the players themselves who have not scored the goals. It's an interesting one. So I think that criticism, because he's ultimately going to take the criticism and take the plaudits when it goes well for Arsenal. But I'm trying to keep level-headed as the reason boss, acknowledging that Arteta is not sending the team out there to lose. He's not sending the team out there to not pull the trigger when given the opportunities. It's just that the players are, I think, just lacking confidence in front of goal. There's no doubt about it. Do they need additional resources, or will Arteta keep on saying, I love you guys, I love the guys, I trust the guys, I keep encouraging the guys, what more do you want me to do? I believe in them. It's just the case of they need to create even more chances. They will find the back of the net, because as we stand, fourth in the Premier League, the hardest league arguably in the world, they have bagged 40 points. They've had chances to win other games, and they're still in the title race. But I think they do need the Gabriel Jesuses, the Eddie Nketiahs. You see that Eddie Nketiah? Is he Eddie Nketiah? If Eddie Nketiah gets a move to any other club, lower Premier League club, or even a championship team, no one would hardly bat an eyelid. Eddie Nketiah is not a Haaland. He's not a Julian Alvarez. No, he is not. He's not even a Diego Jota. Eddie Nketiah, Reece Nelson, sought after apparently by Jamaica. They are not the saviors. They're not the salvations. They're not world-class players. They are very blessed to have enough skill to warrant being in the Arsenal squad. But they will not, excuse me, get Arsenal over the line if we want to win a Premier League. So my question is, Mr. Jaime Hallgrímsson, how much do you rate his coaching abilities and his coaching chops? And can he do anything to make that little difference to end up with Jamaica coming close, if not defeating the United States, or certainly giving them a run for their money as opposed to being run over?
Okay.
I'm going to let Pastor hit his. Go ahead, Pastor.
You mentioned you juxtapose Grimm against Arsenal's coach. Grimm took over the job with a mandate to get us to 26 World Cup. What Grimm has achieved so far is that he has a core set of players that are now playing for him. If they are doing it to play for Jamaica, they are playing for him. So even when Jamaica falls behind to what would be considered superior opposition, the players dig deep and play for pride and save face for the coach. So I would say that Grim has done well. That would be my assessment of him. Do I see where he could do better? My answer is yes. Case in point, I believe the level has gone away from Brown as a right back. And Brown cannot blame anybody. He has to improve his game, or this is the reality. This is performance business. So I believe Grim now need to stay to Brown. We have players that are cutting it ahead of you, even though they are 7, 8 years your junior. Because both Latibodir and Lambakisa should be given the opportunity to play ahead of Brown. Brown may still be in the 60, but certainly he should not be in the 30. I've said that to move to the CDM position. The coach is still working on getting a team. So players are being rotated. I believe he gave Latibodir a fair amount of games to see if Latibodir would be the answer for CDM. I think he has gotten enough for the coach to take the decision. He need a player that plays that position. So if I see he continues with Latibodir there, then I will start negatively criticizing the coach. I took issue with him playing him there after the third time, but in all fairness, the coach is looking for something, and I guess he wanted enough time to see whether or not he can get it from the player. You can't beat the coach too much about that, even when you disagree with him persisting with him. But there comes a time when enough must be enough. So I don't think the coach should be under any pressure where his job is concerned, because if nothing else, he has achieved what I believe is very important for any coach taking a team into competition. When you want to win things, you have to have players that are willing to go out there and get bruised up and creep up and mash up for the cause. And I think the players are showing that, where they are literally playing for him. So he should have some trust in a good core of the players. Having said that, though, I believe that because Grim is firstly defensive minded, he has to be careful not to over rely on the offensive power that Jamaica possess, and really shore up the middle of the park to alleviate the pressure on the defense line. We get most of the breaks against us when we have Brown at right back and when we have two in midfield, so the pressure keeps coming consistently over and over at the defense line. So him fixing those things should work in his favor, and I believe Jamaica will get better once the coach make those adjustments. And the adjustment, he can make the adjustment within the. You see, JT, why we want changes that will make us win now? You have to realize that the coach has to be seen by the players as somebody who really believes in them, So even though I believe we are way past Brown, the fact that he gave Brown so many opportunities, every other player looking on is that the coach really believes in us. It sends a message, So I don't agree with him playing Brown, but I understand that as a coach, you have to get your players to believe that you trust them to get the job done. And so some of these things that he does is to achieve that. So the psychology of it and the practicality of it, I understand. And the coach's job, any coach that come to coach Jamaica, it is. I don't want to think it is at the same level as coaching any other team. Coaching Jamaica is not going to be easy, because you have an administration where you don't know if them support is with you or against you. You have a fan base that is wagonist.
We're not gonna go
You
this
have
up.
you have critics.
We're gonna say
Yeah,
we
I'm
don't
just saying,
yeah, man.
his job is difficult, and I think he has done well. So we can
Yeah,
close it at that.
yeah. In
I think he
30
has
minutes.
done well.
Yeah, until the JFS strike again, Pastor, we're not giving them any more burn. But what would happen in the game between Arteta and Coach Jaime Richie Reza Boss is there would be no substitution in the game. I promise you that. Arteta seems like he is on a mission as well not to make substitutions. That guy, he's like, Coach,
Oh God.
I don't know if it's a trend. Like these coaches who are not making substitution, they're losing big games. I tell people substitutions are very important in games. We saw
Absolutely. Listen,
been making mistakes with that for a year now.
I've got to make a move now, JT. It's been an absolute pleasure. Happy 2024 to you, Pastor Lansley, and to all the viewers and subscribers to Sports Prophecy, and of course, Richbo Sports. Big up yourself, JT. I'm hopeful and optimistic for Jamaica going forward. On the pitch, of course, there's other things going on off the pitch, but it's going to be a challenge. Summing up, I've seen some of the comments in the comment section. It will be a challenge. I agree with the likes of Tennessee. Of course, Jamaica are up against it. But let us not underestimate confidence, belief, hunger. These Jamaican players have joined the Reggae Boys to win silverware, not only to reach the World Cup. This is legitimately possible, but without the likes of Boza, without the likes of Damarai Gray, it will be a very difficult challenge. But the ball is round. There's 90 minutes plus overtime. We need to be clinical. That much will be almost guaranteed, because the United States of America will be looking to make that final against the likes of a Mexico or Panama. But we're in it. We're in the semifinals, and we're not just turning up to make up the numbers. Like, share, and subscribe to JT and Sports Prophecy. Big up yourself, and blessings to you, Pastor Lansley. I hope to speak with you and the viewers and subscribers again for 2024. Health, wealth, and much blessings.
Blessings, my boss. Coach Devon Porter, you segue into the perfect section before we end the show. Yeah, the Damion Lowe thing, Coach Devon Porter, I want the energy that comes with Damion Lowe and the way he played in that Canada game, but I don't know if the energy is worth the risks that comes with Damion Lowe starting that game. Every time I'm just having this bad memory of this game that Jamaica was in, and we lost Rudolph Austin in the first half. First couple minutes in the game, him get a silly red. And Rudolph Austin is a similar kind of player like Damion Lowe. One speed. Devon Porter, let me know if I'm off the rails here with this one.
I think we don't give Damion enough credit as he deserves.
Okay.
You know, people has to be around the team to see how the players train, how they operate. And at the Canada game, I saw it firsthand. And let me tell you something. The Jamaican fans need to respect Damion.
Wow.
Okay, for who he is and what he brings to the team. And, you know, certain analogy about the player. Yes, I understand that everybody has their opinion. But we can be very subtle, a little bit more subtle with how we deal with the player. because Damian's a stalwart to this team. I'll take him any day of the week and twice on Sunday in any team that I coach because of that no nonsense. Yes, he might late sometime, but just like every other defenders. I remember, I'm going to call one name, and people used to chastise that player. He plays in the same position as Damian, and he was managed to lift the World Cup 2010, and that is Puyol, who plays for Spain. Okay? So we need to give Damian some respect. Every team needs a little bit of steel and a little bit of no nonsense. So we need to respect the man. He has done a yeoman's job for our national team over the years.
But Coach Devon, I think most fans respect Damian and his contribution. But I think we don't hear you say nothing about the actual risk that comes with Damion Lowe at just running wild out there. That's
Here's the thing.
Realistic.
Here's the thing. Football is a risk.
Okay.
Nowadays, football is a risk because there are referees in the game. You pass near a player that he likes, and you give him a nudge, and you get a red card or a yellow card, or you give away a penalty. Football nowadays is a risk.
Sir P.
I'm here.
Yeah, I agree with every team need the steal. I especially as a defender myself.
Pastor, bet that point very quickly. Your Pastor 3 hour we are going right now.
No, hold on. It's gonna go on a little bit more now because I need to talk about our midfield.
Okay. No, but give on at 12 o'clock over here at night, you know.
I understand. But here's the thing. If you wake up at Antness,
the midfielder them now come help me a morning when me tired.
If you wake up at Antness, you have to live with the penalty.
No, man. We can't just run
you'll get bite, JT. The long and short of what the man saying, you'll get bite if you wake up at Antness. Yes?
Pastor, here's the thing. I hear a lot of people, including yourself. I'm going to throw this one at you. How many midfielders does Jamaica play with?
Don't leave. The 2 man.
JT, it cut out a while ago. Are you hearing him?
How many midfielders does Jamaica play with?
I don't think Pastor is hearing you.
Pastor, are you hearing me? Pastor, are you hearing me?
No, we're not hearing Pastor. Yeah, but Devon, you can't make forward on again, man. Make we chop it up, man. Under 20s come up on
I'll make it quick. But I just want to know how many midfielders does Jamaica play with?
Which one of the midfielders you may talk about? You're talking about link players or because you know midfield is kind of tricky, you know, like growing up in a football where you say 4 across the middle.
Absolutely, JD. So now you understand what I am coming at. The coach preferred formation is 4-4-2.
No, sir. I think it's 4. I think it's 4-2-4 or something like that.
Or 4-2-3-1.
Yes. Okay, that sounds more like.
Okay. So he's playing with 2 6s. A central attacking midfielder, a left midfielder, and a right midfielder. How many midfield is that?
Devon.
Pastor, how many midfield is that?
You said, no, hold on. You said, including me. I have not heard all of when you were asking the question, but I just heard
All right.
you
Here's the
put
question again. Here's the question
5
again.
midfielders. I just hit the hold on. I just hear you put 4 midfielders on it a while ago. But in answering, based on what you said before, that you heard me too say something. I didn't hear what you said that you heard me say. I am
Said Jamaica play
sure
with, said
I
Jamaica
have.
play with 2
Yeah.
midfielders. That's what I heard you
Jesus
said.
Christ.
Said we play with 2 midfielders.
Jamaica plays. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. He puts the midfielders on the field, and you say he played 2 sixes. Hallgrímsson does not
No, no.
necessarily play.
Hold on. Hold on, Pastor.
And
Pastor, hold on.
It
Hold on.
Whoa,
Pastor,
Jetty, if you're
hold
hearing
on.
me, it's very bad. I'm not hearing Porto.
Pastor, just hold on, Pastor. Here's the thing. The coach has 2 preferred formation. Okay? Are you hearing me?
him not hear you properly, man. Devon Porter, make we chop up this tomorrow, no, man. Oh yeah, dude, me so you forward in late on the show.
All right.
Start from
Okay,
early.
because I'm gonna break it down for you guys
Yeah,
and
not
explain
tonight. Not tonight.
the whole sequence and transition game and how we play. You understand? Because we have to give the coach some respect. Because this team is a team in transition. This team is a work in progress, and trust me, we need to give this team and these players and this coach some respect. All right. If you said so, let's do it again another time.
Yeah. We not talk for a long time.
But Devon,
Yes.
if you heard what I said, I went as far as to say the coach job should not be under any question. That's how much respect I give to the coach.
I heard
Good.
that part.
So in any critical analysis, and my big takeaway from it has been that only when he plays Kevin, when he Lambert, only Lambert is the only CDM he keeps playing. Latibodir is not a CDM, so even when he asks Latibodir to play as a 6, I am not like the others.
No,
Yeah. Here's my thing, Pastor.
Me stop.
Pastor, here's my thing. How many teams in world football don't have a CDM? Why do we keep preaching CDM? We don't have to play with a CDM. If we understand the principle of the game, how to attack, how to defend, the 2 most important things in the game. We don't know. Listen, you don't need a CDM. You don't need a
Devon. I hope the next time JT is on, you come on so we can cut up this. JT,
yes,
I rest. We will. Devon, he has to go to work. Don't beat him up too much.
Midfielders to understand and assume out of those 2 sixes their defensive duties.
Yeah.
How do we?
Porter,
okay, all right. Go to work, JT.
At the first show this for the new year.
All right.
I'm
okay,
back.
JT. All right. Okay, JT.
All
right.
So we're here now, Pastor.
Pastor, Happy New Year, JT. Happy New Year, and we will speak again.
All right, Pastor. We'll talk here. Santini. No man. Bro, me sick out over the Christmas, and I wanted to spend the rest of the time with my daughter as well, because people understand it's not enough hours in a 24 hours, brother. Cause you reach at work, 8, and then but me up from 6, drop her kindergarten by 7, reach at work 8, come home 3, pick her up at 3:50, make dinner and them thing there, play with her for a little bit, then me start get her to bed, and then me a stream for like 7 till almost 12. So when you look on it, me say over the Christmas, me I take that time and just me and her go out and do some things and chill. It was just chill. So now I want to be more organized with the stream them, because sometimes I do have 4 hours and the people them even want to put 100 likes on the video. You see me I say? Because I don't know if people think a time may have a waste or something. You know, we're here to talk football, people. So this year I want to be more precise with the shows them, and I want to be a bit more organized with my topics. I'm just getting my foot back wet in there, but I'm also focusing on doing a lot of other leagues like the Premier League. I want to jump on the AFcan, like the AFcan, like I want to expand the football thing with this channel as well, because over the Christmas I got asked. They offered me a deal. They have this thing now where they are streaming YouTubers on here in this region, and I could stream my channel through that and stream on the Danish league, and I won't be able to stream a lot of Jamaican content. So I said I'm not gonna really sign up for that. It would be a decent money to do it, but I would also have to do a certain amount of shows and a bunch of things like that. I would have to have 2 channels for this, because some days I just want to come and talk football, not being organized. You know what I mean, Pastor? With just a reason and chop it up Jamaican style, like those kind of thing where they might show me have to go come and organize every minute, and I don't think I'm ready for that. So the channel is we still at 2,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. We got to 2,000 subscribers last year. So the channel is what now? The channel is 10 months old. It's not even a year old yet. So we got to 2,000 subscribers. I think this year is going to be much better, because I started to do live watch-alongs at the end of the year, and the channel went up faster. And this year is going to be a lot of football. I'm very excited for the under-20s, those guys. I think the Nations League, I don't really expect Jamaica to beat United States, to be honest. Without Demari Gray, without Shamar Nicholson, I don't know how I feel about that. Copa America, for me, it's a bonus. Wherever we go, I'm there supporting, and hopefully we bring in some players who can just widen the pool and get ready for the World Cup campaign. Any last words, Pastor?
3-2 Jamaica against US.
All right.
Shut down the city.
Pastor has prophesied it on Sports Prophecy, people. There you have it. 3-2 USA, Jamaica. Until next time.